What's up? Are we live? Meetings now streaming live, custom live streaming service. Oh my God. Hold on. Stop live stream, view stream on custom streaming service. Bing bang, God is great. And we're live. I'm already seeing chats. Let me just share you the chats. Today, we are on a completely different streaming system, people. So you know what? Just bear with us here. We're changing things up. We got a soundboard here. Haven't even fully loaded the soundboard, but check this out. We got Chekhov, Urane. Let's see here. I can control this, I think. And why am I so frozen? Why am I frozen in cuck face, dude? What a weird. Hold on, because I don't want to hear it. Okay, cool. Go to the latest. And God is great. And let's go over here. And now we're going to go over here and read them. Fubs is here. Christopher Flack is here. Killa G. Killa G? Killa G. Killa G. No, on Indian, I think that's just G the way they say it in America, but G in India is like, I respect. G. Yeah. So you're a killer, and then it's a Killa G. That's interesting. Christopher Flack, like I said, as long as he doesn't come on muted for 50 minutes. Yo, am I muted? Brentford says, whoa, karmas came early, many blessings. God, yes, yes, Brentford G. Brentford G, yes, thank you. Hi, Habibis. No, this is great. Let me put on some music for y'all, though. Come on, I mean, you know, I have music, and guess what? I have a soundboard, so I can just hit it on this. I have a couple of little things that I have. Oh, tell me if you can hear this. Oh, that's a hitting sound. That's like if someone hits me in the face.
You are here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That is how important you are.
Okay, did you hear that? That was Eckhart Tolle. How was that? And now you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play a little background. I'm going to play a little bit of this. Tell me how that feels for y'all. Is that too loud? Tell BabaJi, tell BabaJi. Nope, we can hear you. Hohenheim is here. Turnips. Hey, yo, I Siddiqui. That feels way too loud. I'm going to kill that. Hold up. Wow, what a great rip and dip. Today, I'm switching to mornings. Honestly, I'm going to go crazy doing nighttime or doing in the middle of the day because it just kills the day a little bit. Because then the whole morning is spent working on this. But today, it's like, do it first. Early rip and dip when full of source energy, full of the sources in me. When that source energy is in me. When I have God on my side, first thing in the morning, you know, we all have God on our side in the morning. So first rip and dip. Yeah. Because if you do your first, most important karmas must be done first. The most powerful karmas must be done first. You know, and I do consider this like that. This live stream and the daily rips. And I think it could go #1. I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? It's like the periphery, like the stuff that you can pay people to do. We're not on top of that here at the drip. The stuff that you can outsource, that you could like pay a guy in India. There is a guy in India, actually. He's putting up the clips in the little 1-minute rippers. Can't afford a white guy anymore. Don't have the money for a white guy. We're bleeding subs. So in Earth's eyes, some might see the drip and say, where's it going? Drip, where's it going? I don't know. What's the future of drip? But from the inner voice, it's like, this is my most powerful karmas, the most important karmas. No, for sure. For sure, I'm daily ripping. I mean, listen, this weekend had a rager weekend. 2 incredible stand-up comedy shows. Holy shit, packed. Both packed. One only seats like 12 people. Heavy COVID violations, by the way. Heavy COVID violations all over this. No, nobody cares. The opening line on the stand-up show, this guy, Louis Mold's hilarious comic, went up before me, or like 2 before me. Such a cool guy, though. Very interesting dude, like heavy anti-vax, heavy anti, like, he's anti-vax and anti-abortion, and like he's weird. He's not anti-abortion, sorry. He's anti-vax and he's anti like government, but then he's doing tarot cards. You know what I mean? I like that. I like that. That's all part of God's plan. You see? You think all the anti-vaxxers and the, you know, you think all the anti-government people are all Trump supporters. Turns out a bunch of them are meditation people, and that complicates the situation. And all situations are complicated like that on this earth. It's like too easy. You You can't just pick teams like that. Anyway, the drip is here. I want to go daily mornings. Keep it motivational, keep it inspirational for me and the community, because basically I come in, I do a 2-hour rip in the morning, first thing. And then it's like, oh, that's just, you know what it is? It's like when these guys, they go, what time do you wake up? And they're all competing on how early they wake up. I think the last one I heard was like, you know, some of them are like smart. They're like 6 a.m. And then I do my workout, have the coffee, go get to work, put on a podcast, go to work. That's reasonable. That's fine. I'm fine with 6. But then these psychos, they have to compete. So I think I heard something Jocko. He's like, I wake up at 2, in bed by 10, up at 2. That's not enough sleep, brother. What is with these? They went, the hustle culture went so hard that they attacked sleep. And sleep said, no. You will learn to love me. And really, like, the no sleep. Yeah, no. I think the culture in general is on the side of sleep. Is on the side of like, how many hours do you need in your day? Don't do so much. I feel like the culture is there. You know what I mean? Productivity wise too. The culture is in a place where they're like, well, you're just doing too much shit then. If you got to wake up at 2, maybe some of those things are not really worth doing. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, we think so with Jocko. I mean, what was the video we watched of his where he's like, good. You know what? As a morning show, we could play that Jocko clip like basically every time we come in. Let's take a look at it. Oh, but let me just give a shout out to all the people that are here. Turnips, Jordan Payne, Urena Brew. Urena Brew came to meditation too. Very good, Urane. Also come to meditation. Very good, boy. That's a good boy. Hold on. And guess what? I think I have this playing in like 6 different places, but wow, that looks great. That's good. You know what? This is what we're going to do now, though. The StreamYard thing, it's just killing me on the audios, people. You just can't share audio. It would have been like 3 more programs. So let's go ripping on Zoom. I think it looks pretty sexy. Really, it's about the topics we're talking about and the talk in the talk. You know what I'm saying? What is the substance of the conversation? That's what this is about. And I have the grace and the honor and the loving kindness and the unconditional love of Buddha right here. And I have Kali right here. And we are living in the time of Kali Yuga. So, and I'm going to show you several examples of that today. Let me give you a quick rundown of our topics today. A lot of great topics for the community. A lot of great topics for the community, because, you know, I want to make sure that we're getting a source energy recharge every morning. You know what I'm saying? You come in here, you say, woo, woo. Let me take the market. That's what I want for my congregation. Because if y'all are prosperous, then I will be prosperous. I'm not worried about all that. I'm worried about, I want morning show. I got to go. And look, today we started at 11 and we started early by mistake because I'm still figuring out Zoom, but we started at 11. Let's get this down to like an artistic early morning. Cause I still do got to do stand up at night. Come on, let's be reasonable. Like, I'm not going to go 2 a.m. Drip is done. Nobody's awake, dude. The whole audience is the 9 to 5 Eastern time audience. I'm not going on some weird Jocko's thing. But anyway, the point is that a lot of great topics today. We're streaming on Zoom. We're ripping and dipping. Close that. I have like 4 windows of myself going live right now. Okay, so there's 5 things really here to talk about. And let me play some music for you while I tell you. This is the beauty. You're going to, once you hear this music, you're going to be like, well, God is great then. Well, if he gets to play music like that, well, then God is great. Wait a minute. I've been playing that music. Well, let's just play it and just, it's a good track. I'll go forward in it. And I'm going to bing bang and God is great and God is great. And there you go. You can hear that, right? You can hear that. And it's the correct volume. And I can adjust the volume up and down. I don't know why StreamYard, like, so cool that you can show the comments, but it's like, guys, can we figure out this thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can actually show comments too. Right? I did show comments. Jordan Payne says, good volume. Thank you, Jimbo Brantford. Genevieve Johnson is here. Genevieve Johnson, thanks for coming. Sold out. Jordan Payne, turnips. And like I said, Chekhov is here. Chichov is here. More karmas against Putin, please. Against Putin. I Siddiqui. Wow, Chekhov. Okay, so let me go back to my topics for today. Because Chekhov, you're not going to believe this, but last week I was actually pretty. You're going to kill me for saying this. I was actually pretty pro-Putin, and I was actually going to tell you at the show that I was doing. This guy Louis Moles, this comic, goes up before me. First line he says, he's like, fucking Putin really took the steam out of COVID, innit? And the crowd lost it. And this whole crowd of Canadians was like, yeah, yes, no more COVID. Yeah, I hate COVID. So, top of the show, we got cheers for Putin because he killed COVID, you could say, in a sense. Listen, you got to have priorities, right? Other priorities came. A war is upon us. And Putin is pretty vicious, and we're going to talk about it. And we got to talk about my mistakes that I made last week because, and not even necessarily mistakes, the complexities of the conversation. Because let me tell you something, a lot of other BabaJis in this community, a lot of other YouTube BabaJis, they'll say some shit, they'll talk out of their ass, as we do. But then someone calls them out, they go, no, I'm still right. No, I found someone who said it, so I'm not going to pull it back. Not me, man. We had Ed Lachinsky on. He's from Ukraine, and he came on and really educated me on Friday about what was really going on. And listen, it's not even about like what was really going on. It's all in shades. You know, like last week, for 3 episodes straight, I ripped on how like, why is NATO over there? Why is NATO expanding? Why isn't NATO allowing the Russians into the Union? And the moment that the Russians say, hey, we want to join, NATO should say, okay, we're done. I said this last week. That should have been their policy, official policy of these groups going forward. And tell them, send the drip. Tell them that the drip told them. Official policy of any of these military organizations should be that when your enemy says, hey, can I join? You need to have an article, Okay, we're done. We're not a military movement we're not like a military expansionist organization, whatever. We are, or a military Czech organization, whatever you want to call NATO. We are now a friendship organization. You know, set up the sister. You got to start pairing up sister cities. That's how you really listen. I remember being in school and thinking the sister cities program was so whack. And I'm like, of course, idiot. You got to have these sister cities so that when shit like this happens, you at least have a bunch of people in your country and they have a bunch of people in their country. They have a love for you. Because since grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, once a year, the sister cities did a little presentation. They did a little celebration of each other, and God is great. Of course, that's, and that is still the official stance of the drip. Like, why is NATO over there? Why is American foreign policy so messy like this? They always do this. They're just, it's never like, it's not working. Whatever you're there to do, you're just making more of a mess than what you're helping, in my opinion, and stoking fires and like causing little shit. You know what I mean? Like, and not open to true diplomacy, which is when Russia says, hey, can we join? You should be like, yeah, okay, cool. You join, they're all coming. And one thing that Ed Lachinsky showed us last week is that, you know, I guess Russia is basically like another USA where they're basically like moving in, expanding on them, harassing them, you know what I mean? And the people of Ukraine want to join EU and NATO, and that's their right, and God is great. And that's their right, and God is great. So we are, of course, on the side of the people of Ukraine here. Official stance. Shouldn't have to say it. Official stance, official drip stance. As of right now, is number one, we're with the people of Ukraine. Sorry, I don't care if I get demonetized. I bet YouTube is just auto demonetizing me, I think, for just saying the word Ukraine. Right? That's why you got to hit the like, hit the subscribe, people. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's go. It doesn't even tell me how many people are here. 19 watching now, 19,000 watching now. That's great. 13 likes. Interesting. And I could get mad at you, but guess what I just realized? Guess what? You know, it's so crazy that it's like I'm looking at editors to like make graphics to do all this shit. Why don't I just show you myself doing it? Hey, guess what everyone should do? Like, wow, that's all it took. 19 for 19 and 21 people watching. And God is great. Do you see how the algorithm talk to you, brother? Algorithm, YouTube algorithm, always watching, always know when you did nice thing, he always there to love you. Algorithm always there to love you. Anyway, so we're going to talk about, let me give a quick shout out to everyone actually. Richard Matthews, love you. Life Marketing, great. Urena Brew, God is great. Please, Martin. Pledit. He's got a Pledit. You have a Bitcoin token as your logo. And I'm sorry, but maybe I'm a little triggered still. Because y'all know that last week my Instagram was attacked. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I stand with the Ukrainian people, but other attacks also happen, i.e. my Instagram from the crypto people. My Instagram was attacked from the crypto community, quite frankly. And I got to say, you crypto people, I don't know. I don't like it. Yesterday, I was watching Raptors game with some friends, not because I like the Raptors, but I just want to be social. You're never going to get sports on this channel, by the way. I will never talk about sports. Politics is the real sports. Sports? Like, there's an invasion happening right now. And there's like, I agree with the sentiment of a lot of people in our community. There's also Yemen, Palestine, Afghanistan. These are all things we're talking about too. Taiwan. These are all things we're talking about too. And Ukraine does get a lot of heat, and God is great. However it has to happen, that's fine. Let's hope it's a opening portal to those. It's a gateway. Let's hope it's a gateway, loving kindness. Anyway, Pledit. I'm most scared about the financial deplatforming of Russia being, oh, here we go. I already know where this is going, Pledit, and you better not be selling any goddamn cryptos to this community. They already got Larry David. Did you guys see this Larry David ad? Larry David selling some crypto exchange. Come on, man. LD, you're a legend, dude. Does he need this kind of money? Why does crypto people have this money? Okay, let's Pledit. Let's read Pledit and how he's going to turn the Russia-Ukraine issue into something about him. Let's read Pledit's comment because I know that's where it's going, Pledit. Mr. Selfish. Just me. Get on my crypto exchange. I'm most scared about the financial deplatforming of Russia being used on political opponents domestically in the U.S. We've seen it with the truckers in Canada, and it is frightening. Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. Fair enough. So far, you're good. Now, don't put another thing saying, that's why you buy crypto now. No. Don't even you dare say that. Jordan Plain says, what were they attacking you about? Jordan Plain, thank you for asking. So make sure after this episode too, you go back and watch all of the previous episodes so that you're up to date on your homework. But I think I covered this on Wednesday. My Instagram account got hacked. Like I said, I was also under attack. Hype Factory is such a great comment. But anyway, my Instagram was attacked last week. And it was attacked and it was taken over by these crypto scammers in Nigeria, by the way. I'm not stereotyping. I saw it on all their re-login attempt entries were coming from Nigeria. And so they stole the account. But what I did is I had another account, added myself, and I called them right here live on the show. That's what I think our Wednesday episode was last week. I called them here live on the show and I said, excuse me. I'm a certified spiritual teacher of the Buddha's most powerful technique, loving kindness. Do you know what you have done? The Buddha is very gracious and very honoring, but you will bring a great suffering on yourself. Attacking teachers in the community. How could you do this? He hung up. They don't even listen. I called him 3 times on the show. Second time, I was like, I was trying to give him a plea of like, brother, I know that colonialism has left us in these positions where we feel like we have to do. Hang up number 2. Called him again, started listening, and I realized that all he says is, as I'm trying to really win him over and say, come on, man, let's be bigger than this. He goes, just give me back the account. He goes, how much you pay? That's it. That's all I could get out of him. So after 4 calls, I think we made 4 calls. That's last week's episode. 4 calls. And look, by then Instagram actually just gave me back the account, and I go through the full process. I actually linked to a video where the guy goes through the full process of getting it back, but I did the exact same process as him. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, if anyone is worried about your Instagram account, has been hacked, worried about hacked, friend got hacked. If you heard the word hack and you've heard the word Instagram, go back and check out that episode. Make sure you watch it. And that is your homework. Make sure everyone should be up to date on that, because I really shouldn't be recapping it, right? Every episode. I mean, Mash Z's been here every episode. Hohenheim's been here every episode. Dylan K. Hanley. Yo, what's up, baby? Hype Factory. Scamish. Can you get Jocko on and ask him about Ukraine? Honestly, I can't get him on. You know what I'm saying? But I was just thinking about this with even Steven. It's like I could get them on, or I could just play their video and talk about them. Let's do Jocko, Ukraine. I was thinking this. The other day I did wake up and say, what's Jocko's take? I wonder what Jocko's take's going to be. Okay, 7 months ago, Jocko willing, Ukraine. 7 minutes. Can we do this? This is an extra rip topic. It was going to be a topic, but Anyway, let's play a little bit of it. Let's see if it has legs. Let's go 30 seconds. Let's see if it has legs. Then if it doesn't, we'll do the last 30 seconds. But if it's tight, I mean, we could watch the whole ripper. I don't know. Let's take a look. Oh, and also let's go. I'm going to go. I got a 1.5 it. Even so that algorithm doesn't think I'm stealing a YouTube content for algorithm. So let's do that.
President Putin, recently you ordered your troops into Ukraine, which is a sovereign nation, and this was a mistake. You underestimated the capability and the fighting spirit of the brave Ukrainian people, and that's understandable.
Oh.
My country made that same mistake in Vietnam, in Iraq, and in Afghanistan.
I like it so
These
far.
mistakes
I like it so far. I didn't think I'd say this. Wasn't expecting him to bring that up. I gotta say, hold on, let me put on my, I'm starting to feel spiritual. Keep it loving. Keep it loving.
To drawn out conflicts that depleted our finances, our materials, and cost us much of our most precious resource of all, American blood.
He's getting tight, isn't he? I think like 7 years ago, he was saying shit like, they want to kill us for our way of life. He would just say that about Muslims. This is tight. He's getting better at his war propaganda. Let's keep it going.
Your country has made that same mistake in the past as well. In Afghanistan, and more recently in Chechnya. Now you have made that same mistake again, but you have also made another mistake. You misjudged the international community.
I like his confidence, though, honestly. He's he say what you want, warmonger, like killed that guy in Iraq. I think his book is a big piece of war propaganda, in my personal opinion, especially his whole take on like, because I'm surprised he's saying this, because usually his whole attitude is like, you have to preemptively attack the enemy. Like, he's basically like, you preemptively attack them. You have to engage the enemy. So if you read his book, it is kind of like General Patton, where they're just like, come on, sir, we got to get the rescues. Like at the end of World War II, if you watch the General Patton, the movie, it's called Patton. Amazing movie. One of the great military generals that saved us from the Nazi. Save the West, you could say, from the Nazi. And at the end of the thing, even in the movie, even the other generals were like, oh, this guy's silly. He's actually only not crazy if you're in a war. That's the kind of kooky, silly guy General Patton was. He was silly. He beat the shit out of people. Like, if anyone in his platoon said they had PTSD, they called it shell shock, I think. But if they said they had PTSD, he was like, he would just kick the shit out of them. Like, he beat them down and punch them in the face, kick them, like just wild. The guy was crazy. But anyway, at the end of World War II, very similar mentality as this guy. And this is most military people. They have a preemptive strike mentality. They have a go on the offensive mentality. So usually he has that mentality. But here, I have to credit him. He is admitting that America has made mistakes in the past. Let's keep it going.
Who has universally condemned your actions. You have been cut off financially. Your supply chain has been severed. You are, military perspective, you will receive no support. Yet on the contrary, your enemy, the free people of Ukraine, are going to receive an unlimited supply of weapons, ammunition, fuel, food, and troops from nations around the world. This will be a war of attrition against the most well-supported freedom fighters the world has ever seen. And you will lose.
I gotta say, like, look, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer bummer. I don't want to be a little bumly bummer. Why can't I think of a good name? I don't want to be a Billy Bummer. I don't want to be a Billy Bummer over here. But long, drawn out, poorly managed wars of attrition are kind of like what the Russians are good at. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, big Bob the Bummer. I don't want to be a Bobbly Bummer. Bobbly, that's not a name. I don't want to be a Billy Bummer. But that's what Russia's good at. You know, I do feel like the media right now, and that's why you got to listen to the drip, because everyone is giving you like Ukraine will stand and fight. And I'm not saying like they are, and it is good to honor their bravery, and like they're killing it actually over there. They're doing really well. But at the same time, it does seem like just an unlimited number of people are moving in on them. And unfortunately, see, this is the kind of thing that you only get from the Buddhist perspective, or like the, you know, Thich Nhat Hanh was a peace activist during the Vietnam War. And like this thing of like, okay, let's go into a war of attrition. It's Russia. They've been attritioning. They have attrition practice. Do we really have that? I mean, Ukraine does too. Ukraine has been ripping for a while. They're very like they're side by side, and they have very similar cultures actually. It's yeah. I just saw Winter on Fire on Netflix yesterday. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, you gotta stand with the people of Ukraine at this point. I know until Tuesday last week I was saying like, hey, why is NATO moving in on them? But you really got to stay. After I saw that documentary, I was like, this is too much violence. I think in the West, though, Jocko, it's interesting that what Jocko's saying in this interview, because he's opening with Afghanistan. He's like, we've made this mistake in the past. And it's like, Jocko, I think you're making this mistake again right now. You know what I mean? Like you and I'd say him and a lot of people are talking about not only escalating with the war of attrition side, but there's a lot of people talking about like, let's do a no-fly zone. Let's go in there. Let's whatever. And it's interesting. Ed Lajinsky in Ukraine didn't really advocate for that. Like, I think Ukraine has a mentality of like, we got it. Send us shit. But we're here. We're ready to rip. 2014, they went through this winter in Ukraine. Oh my God. They're like almost, they're tough people. They're ready to fight. I think the Americans are not, let's be honest, but they have technology, they have money. But then these wars of attrition, like, it's so sad to see this guy be like, listen, you don't want to do what we did in Vietnam. It's like, you're telling them, but then you're going to do it right after them. Let's not pretend that America's is not pushing to go to war. Let's keep going.
That is the reality. But I don't want that. I do not want war. I do not want suffering.
Good.
And I don't want to see our once great ally, the Russian people, consumed by the devastation of war.
Okay.
So, I am solemnly requesting that you immediately correct this mistake by withdrawing all your troops from Ukraine starting within the next 48 hours.
Fix it!
If you...
Can I say one thing unequivocally? Love that. Love that spirit. This is the spirit of a community leader. Many people in the culture, they think, what right do I have to say? No, of course.
Do so. I will personally see to it that there are no further ramifications against your country.
I will personally see to it as pretending president, Jocko Willink. I'm pretending president. I'm the pretend president, and I am pretend mad at you and pretend we'll send the bombs. Okay? Pretend president Jocko Willink out. I like that. This is tight.
I will find.
This is what punditry is. This is the height of like news politics punditry. This is very, very, very tight. It's almost like he's doing what the news is doing, but they're not saying they're doing it. Like, he's just coming out and saying, he's like, I'm the president, and I have the moral authority, and I say, you back it up, pal.
Find a way to negotiate a peaceful agreement with Ukraine that addresses your concerns. And finally, I will help rebuild your infrastructure, and I will support actions that will help to rebuild your economy. This is a generous offer to your nation, a nation with a history of great...
Dude, pretend president's offering even like, hey, pretend president. Don't act like you got the purse strings all ready to go here. Okay, why is he just making financial deals on his pretend president? Let's just keep it going.
Great strength. A nation who we once stood side by side with to defeat the evil Third Reich. I hope you accept this request for.
I like that. I like that. I was saying this all week last week. Where's the appreciation that Russia, like, they died for us in World War II, right? Like, I mean, they died. They didn't have a choice. They were there, and the Germans just went in on them. But we could have said, you know, when they say, hey, can I join? Can I be in NATO? These guys could have said, yeah, and hey, good job on World War II. You killed it. You brought the heat on them. Nothing. And you can see it at the end of the movie Patton, because at the end of the movie Patton, it's like the end of World War II. That general, he's done. And he goes, everyone's like, all right, Patton, we're going home. The other general's like, it's time to go home, Patton. And Patton's like, what do you mean? I can see the Ruskies. They're right there. The Ruskies are right there. Let's move on them. Come on, we can get the drop. He's like that. This is
for peace. What?
Anyway, that's always been the attitude towards Russia. And I'm glad that Jocko finally said, like, you did a good in World War II.
If you do not comply, there will be consequences. I have been to war, and I do not like it, but I know how to wage it. 12 hours ago, I gave an order sending 3 aircraft carrier battle groups to the vicinity. I also gave the order for the deployment of 50,000.
Interesting how reality's blending in fiction here. Because first he's like, I was in a war, and I fought in a war, and I managed a war. And I was like, yeah, it's hard not, like, when someone says that, it's hard not to say Iraq war, like, probably the most poorly managed, most corrupt war in U.S. history. And the war that people are going to look back, historians are going to look back on the Iraq war and say that could have been the downfall of possibly Western civilization. You know, just because it was, in my opinion, I feel like they hit a tipping point on probably Vietnam more. But then Vietnam was so bad that they were supposed to just stop doing that. And then Iraq was just them kind of saying, okay, we found another way to do it. Like, all your concerns about that, we found a way around. We calculated another way. Just go to war. Spend billions of dollars. Ruin people's lives. The vice president owned the company that rebuilt the country after Dick Cheney. I said it. I'll say it. But this is the military perspective. He has the military perspective. But yeah, I guess, how do you say that to a person? Like, someone spent 10 years in Iraq, and look, I want to respect the soldiers. I'm not saying the soldiers are bad people or they did whatever, but the president lied to go there. They made Colin Powell lie. Colin Powell probably was like a person who was proud of himself as a human being. Like, he had a great military record, and then they all just pressured him into going in front of the UN and saying, yeah, I think Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. And after that, really, Colin Powell is like, I don't want to say not a real man. Like, he probably felt in his heart, because he even said it before he passed away, that, like, yeah, he kind of just, like, you know, I didn't really have the evidence, and I just got swept up in this thing, and I told everyone that we did, and at the UN, and he said, like, he's expressed regrets about that. But I guess he can't really say that to a guy who served there, and then he wrote a whole book about it. Let's keep going.
Combat-ready soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines to our NATO allies bordering Ukraine. These include surface-to-air and surface-to-surface missile systems. It includes combat aviation and aviation support teams. And it also includes medical, logistics, infantry, and special operations units. The United States of America will bring the full spectrum of lethal warfare to the battlefield. That being said, we will not get into a ground war with you.
Hold on, I got to take my pants off. It is so hot in here. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I hate to do this to you, but let's just keep watching. It's great.
America does not need to. The brave Ukrainian men and women will fight for their own country. History tells us of their courage, and they are already proving their mettle in battle once again. But with our technological capabilities and assets, our eminently prepared troops, and our partnerships with allies and the undaunted Ukrainian people on the ground, I promise you, your aircraft will be destroyed. Your missile systems will be destroyed. All of your tanks and armored fighting vehicles will be destroyed. Your naval vessels in proximity of the conflict will be destroyed. And many of your fine soldiers and sailors will be killed. It will be a devastating loss, and your country's military and economy will take years to rebuild. But I don't want that.
Strong words.
My generation of Americans have been at war for 2 decades. We don't want war. We want peace.
I like that.
For Russia, for Ukraine, for Europe, and for the world.
Good.
So please carefully consider my offer. Withdraw your troops. And let's move forward together in a positive way that avoids further war and bloodshed and brings peace and prosperity to the world. The choice is yours. I am standing by for your reply.
Give it up for Jocko Willink coming on the show, doing his little. That is almost like, you know what that reminds me of? It's like almost on what's those shows called? The Hohenheim. What's up, baby? It kind of reminds me of like an SNL, not an SNL sketch, Daily Show sketch. It's like they were doing it. It's like a Daily Show sketch. He's like, "Dear Mr. President Jocko, what do you think? I have fought and managed a war, and I've sent $2 billion of funding and 800 helicopters to the people of Ukraine." It's interesting how I do like that, how it mixes and matches like that. Ho9 Productions, $5. What's Jocko gonna do? Ross Perot? Is he the next Teddy Roosevelt? LOL. No, you know what? Jocko is ultimately, in my opinion, and he's gonna murder me one day if he sees me, but I think he's basically like you know what these people are like, and myself included. They're like, he's like a public figure. He is almost like a politician. Even if you read his book, it's like the book is called Extreme Ownership. And it's about how one of his soldiers killed an Iraqi friendly fire in Iraq, whatever. And it's about him taking extreme ownership and then getting the guy off the hook for killing the guy and just going to his admirals and being like, "Hey guys, I'll clean up the mess. Don't worry. My guy screwed up, but he's a great guy, whatever. Right? So, oh my God, Ed Leginsky's here. What's up, baby? But he, fuck, what was I saying? Oh my God, I got distracted. Yeah. Anyway, about Jocko, I think he's a marketing guy a little bit. He's a bit of a politician himself. Because if you read the book, his book, and I have a whole video about it, it is basically war propaganda, and it is like him basically getting a soldier off the hook for, by mistake, killing a guy in Iraq, a friendly fire, like one of their guys. But basically, Jocko goes to the admirals and he says, "Sir," it's such a weird thing. He does like a whole show in front of his admirals. Like he brings his troops in, and he's in front of the admirals, and he's asking the troops a question. So he's like, "Whose fault was today's Iraqi friendly fire death?" And like people would put their hand up. It'd be like, "It was me, sir. I pulled the trigger." And Jocko would be like, "No. Whose fault was the Iraqi friendly fire that died today?" Someone else puts their hand up. "Sir, is it me? I loaded the weapon." "No. Whose fault is it?" And then the third guy's like, they're just confused, I guess. They're like, "I gave him the coordinates. I don't, like, who is it?" And John goes, "No, it was my fault. And I take ownership." And his ownership was basically like, no court martial for killing a friendly fire. Like he got his soldier off the hook. He's like, no court martial, no nothing. Me and him will just go around and clean up the mess. We'll tell his family, we'll put the body in a funeral. Like he's like, we'll just clean up the mess. Don't worry about it. Which is weird. Like, it's almost more insulting. But he is like, look, man, there's a 100-year-old quote that says, "The first casualty of war is the truth." A big part of warfare is propaganda. And I think he's a master of it. He's really good at selling war and selling fighting and stuff like that. Ed Lechinsky, Ukraine was part of USSR too, not just Russia and many others. This guy is a creep though. Right. Ed Lechinsky, true. All of this is relevant because nukes exist. Ed Lechinsky says, "Habibi, love you, baby. What's up? I actually want to talk to people about, and I know, Ed, don't hate me. I hope this is not like super depressing for you. But I just saw, I love this movie. Winter on Fire. I'm not going to play the audio because I keep getting dinged for that. But holy shit, this documentary was so tight. Oh my God, dude. It's just vicious. It's like the first fight. I think Ed was talking about this last week. So I had to check out the documentary. Incredible footage. Just how far they go. And I can't believe someone was telling me that this week Russell Brand was comparing the Canadian truckers protest to this Ukraine thing. And how? I hate the comparisons, man. They always do this. The Canadian truckers who are fighting like some mask mandate. If anything, and like I was pretty supportive of Canadian trucker protests. I was like, no, you guys are like, it's cool. Like you should be disruptive of the government. I believe in workers' rights. I believe in political action. I supported that side of it. but they were always just comparing themselves to like wearing a mask is just like Nazi Germany. What's the difference? If I have to wear a mask, then just put me in a gas chamber. What's the difference? They were doing, honestly, they were doing that. This is not me saying they were white supremacists. Like, there's a small number of white supremacists. I don't believe that theory at all. I think that was bullshit. I think that was the government saying, and I also don't agree that the government took away their rights, basically like enacted this war act that I guess would have given you the ability to do what happened in Ukraine here, where like it just got so violent between the police and the protesters. Holy shit, man, this footage is insane. But anyway, I just don't. I hate the comparison that. Oh my god, that tank shot was that was crazy. This documentary rips. You gotta check it out. So rips, you know. Oh my god, glory to Ukraine. Yeah. I think, you know what else pisses me off about like people like Jocko coming in with these theories and stuff is that like they are very like, you know, and this happened with Georgia too, where it's like, it's all this flirting and shaking your ass, NATO, in front of these countries, shaking your ass. But when Putin rolls in, you can't do shit. Anyway, so get the fuck out of it, man. I know that's kind of my attitude. But I also am seeing Ed's point last week that that is a piece of Putin propaganda too. I mean, listen, the best piece of propaganda is something that has a kernel of truth to it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like if you want to just completely go out of thin air, that's true too. I think Hitler has a quote about that. Like he's like, if it's so outrageous and it's so wacky and you keep repeating it, people will be like, well, it must be true. Couldn't have made that up. But I think most propaganda is like 20% true, and then people want to just go all the way with it. So I do feel like NATO, like, what the fuck? What are you doing there? They should be a friendship organization. Honestly, like they should be doing sister cities. NATO honestly, I think that's full time. The bureaucrats that are there now trying to figure out how to fight, they should just be full time setting up sister city conferences. And they go, okay, Albuquerque, your sister city is this. New York obviously gets Moscow or something like that. And you got to do a sister city presentation monthly. And you got to say, hey, you know, we love you. We honor you. And if y'all ever want to come down here to visit, we're here. The sister city program, I think, could solve a lot of this. This is a big issue in the culture right now. This is a big problem with the American mentality. It's always about fight, fight, fight. It's never about, what about a preemptive love? But that's what you're going to get from the Buddha. Only the Buddha has it. It just sounds wild and wacky over here in the West. It sounds silly. And now, anyway, I'm going to go into our next topic now because enough of this. Ed is here. I'm sure Ed does not want to hear my musings on the situation. Ho and Nine Productions. What's up, baby? Thanks for coming. Hold on. Let me share this while I'm grabbing our next team. But someone just sent me a great article, actually. Tyler, he's actually helping me like with the show, book guests. And we're going to be doing the Florida Podfest this year. So I'm going to be in Florida for Podfest. I won't be getting paid to go there because I'm legally not allowed to. I really got to work on my immigration stuff. But Ho and I'm $5. Thanks, buddy. What's Jocko going to do? Ross Perot. Is he the next Teddy Roosevelt? LOL. Yeah, no, I think I talked about that already. Ed Lachinsky is here. You are loved. Genevieve Johnson. Thanks for coming, homie. But yeah, please, Morton, Hohenheim, Dow Jones. Dow Jones. I like that name. Let's make this bigger because there's no reason to show the. Honestly, like, isn't this easier than StreamYard? I love StreamYard too. Like, it would be nice to put your comments on the screen, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to say God is great and rip and dip because the music, come on. This music is putting us on a journey. Dow Jones, that's a good one. To Dow Jones. Any Taoist jokes? Pledit says, yeah, but Amish 2 weeks to stop the spread turned into 2 years. When government seeks emergency powers during a crisis, those powers are never given back to the people, just like Patriot Act. Pledit, good call. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. It's bullshit that the Canadian government resorted to Emergencies Act. That was such a power grab and so stupid, man. You didn't need to do it. Nothing they did. You know what it is? It's all shit that like the Canadian government passing that Emergency Measures Act. It's all stuff that we can't even see. So that is a big kind of propaganda because basically what they're doing with that whole Emergency Powers Act is basically the Canadian truckers protest, like, despite what a lot of lefties will tell you, it was actually very well organized and very well funded, and they were pretty on top of their shit in a lot of ways. Now, one place where they were not on top of their shit is I don't think they applied for a goddamn permit. So it's like I'm pretty sure that the government just had the right to say, you don't have a permit. It's technically illegal just by current standards. So we're just going to arrest everyone. They could have done what they did in public without passing this stupid Emergency War Act or whatever the hell he did, Trudeau did. But whatever it's called, I think it's the Emergency Measures Act or something like that. But what I think is happening behind the scenes, like the organizers of this truckers march, their accounts are frozen and they're going to be tied up in court for like a year or 6 months at least. And that is bullshit, man. I mean, yeah, no, that is bullshit. So pled it. To your credit, you haven't pushed one Bitcoin scheme on the community. And thank you for that. I want to thank you for that. And actually, one quick side rip that I do want to do is, I mentioned this briefly, but man, this really bothers me, man. Why is Larry David Bitcoin? Look at this, 40 million. And this is basically like a whole sketch this guy wrote for this Bitcoin crypto trading bullshit. Larry David doesn't give a shit. That's the problem. It's so good too. It's actually very funny. It's actually so funny. And you know what I call this? I call this comedy used. It's like, brother, you're using your powers for the wrong end here. You have an extremely powerful technique of doing comedy. It's so funny. He's so funny. And look at all the costumes, set designs he did. He probably just shot it himself. They probably just said, here's $10 million. Like, oh, for a 2-minute commercial? Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. And then he just shot some cool shit that he would want to do anyway. It's so funny. And look at how well shot it is. How much money do these stupid Bitcoin crypto exchanges have? Like, honestly, and Larry, 10 seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Do you need to advertise this? Do you know what this is? This is basically like, and look, my opinion here, obviously, I wonder if they'll, sorry, guys, getting a dislike from me. FTX official. You know what I, like, okay. Just from my history of being on this show, doing the drip, doing stuff with Coffeezilla, just hearing about scams in general. It seems to me, and tell me if I'm wrong in the community. Tell me if BabaJi talking out of his ass? I really got to get a picture of me like, what's BabaJi saying now? Oops. But basically, these crypto exchanges are basically like day trading sites. Like the way that there's day trading for stocks, these guys are doing day trading sites for crypto. And it's even in the title. It says, if you look at the title of their stupid thing, FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange built by traders for traders. FTX offers innovative products, including industry-first derivatives, options, volatility products, and leverage tokens. So it's like, I don't know. It is like day trading where you're like, do you want to make something good for people? Or do you just want to like stare at your screen all day and just take a little cut out of like, okay, the people are buying here and selling here, so I'll just take a little cut. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem in America is like, nobody's asking this question anymore. Nobody's asking the question of morality, contribution. Like, okay, fine, it's legal. I'm not saying it's not legal. And Larry David is 95 years old. He probably doesn't know, doesn't care. And he's probably thinking like, well, if you have $25 million for a 2-minute ad, like you probably know what you're doing. But he probably doesn't know because he's 99 years old. They can't use a goddamn cell phone, these seniors. How the hell are they going to use, like, how are they going to figure this out? He doesn't know. But it's basically like a derivatives, options, volatility products, and leverage tokens. Is this what you want to spend your day doing? Like staring at a screen and being like, yep, got a two points on the volatility marker. That's $300 in my pocket. This is your life? This is what you want your life to be? It's ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Batman, very sexy right now. I put it in the thing and I found a great article about it. And it's an incredible article talking about how Batman, I'm done with Bitcoins. Batman stole all the juice from the Buddha. None other than the Buddha. Cultural appropriation, people. And this is the enter reader view. Here we go. I'm going to get my personal assistant to read this article to y'all. Where is it? Enter reader view. Yes. I'm going to get my personal assistant. Rishi, tell us what happened.
ScreenRant.com. Batman. Bruce Wayne has the same origin story as the Buddha. By Michael Jung. 8-11 minutes. Batman has one of the best known origins in superhero lore. Thanks to multiple film adaptations, comic book stories, and television shows, fans have seen how the tragic murder of Thomas and Martha Wayne led young Bruce Wayne to study under different masters before finally claiming the mantle of the Batman and developing his own unique brand of justice.
So far, correct.
Batman has one of the best known origins in superhero lore. Thanks to multiple film. What is not so commonly known is that Bruce's origin story has some remarkable similarities to another legendary figure, the Buddha. While it might seem unlikely that a dark Avenger like Batman could have anything in common with a spiritual teacher like the Buddha, the similarities in their stories have not gone unnoticed by Batman's writers or even Bruce Wayne himself. The legend of the Buddha. Historians and scholars believe that Buddha was likely born in the 6th century in the region known today as Nepal. Born Siddhartha Gautama, translated as he who achieves his aim. The future Buddha was a prince with a very wealthy father who ruled.
Siddharth. Siddh means straight and Arth means meaning. So he has the straight meaning.
Historians and scholars believe that Buddha was likely born in the 6th century in the region known today as Nepal. Born Siddhartha Gautama, translated as he who achieves his aim. The future Buddha was a prince with a very wealthy father who ruled the Shakya clan. Although Siddhartha's mother died 7 days after his birth, his father decided to shelter his son from all human misery and suffering by raising him in a palace built just for the boy.
Basically, like, his dad was setting up gangbangs for this kid. Like right out the gate from like 12, his dad's basically, listen, nobody wants to talk about it. This is the real story of the Buddha. And like, he's basically a rich kid. And his dad was like, never see any suffering, basically raised him like a filthy rich kid. And then he became like those guys, like, Robin Sharma or like Deepak Chopra. It's like, they're cool. Like, I'm not against them or anything. Right. And they have these stories of hardship, whatever. And then you find out like, oh, your parents are both doctors and you're a doctor. But they have a life that rips. And then with Buddha, basically he gangbangs from day one, no death, no suffering. Then at the age of 30, after he's married with a kid, he says, God is calling me. 30, gets married with a kid, has the kid. He says, God's calling me. I'm meant to be something greater. And then he leaves his kid. Anyway, let's continue. Love Buddha. Listen, big fan. Love the teachings. Great stuff. If I'm being honest, probably jacked it from other people. Like, that's how this works. He's a rich kid. He's powerful. He has money, probably. There's a whole story of like his dad kicked him out and they hate each other. But really, it's like, dad's sending money. Get out of here.
Historians, not only was this palace extremely beautiful, Siddhartha's father made sure that it was only populated by young and beautiful people, that any sick people were kept from Siddhartha's sight, and that his son would never see any dead human or creature. Siddhartha was also never instructed in religion or human hardship, keeping him ignorant of old age, sickness, and even death. Siddhartha lived a life of luxury well into his adulthood, even marrying a princess and raising a son. However, upon reaching adulthood, he finally took a ride outside of his palace and came across an old man, a sick man, and a corpse. When his driver explained to him what all of these things were, Siddhartha was overcome by the experience and resolved to leave his palace and find a way to relieve humanity of this suffering.
You know what? This is basically like what it's like being a Canadian. Like, I remember being like 7 years old. My parents took me to India and I was like, this is like there was okay, so we're in India, we're in Bombay. There's a kid serving us. I'm a kid, but I'm such a lefty Canadian kid that I see a kid serving us and I'm like, nope, he should be in school. It's a human rights violation. He should be in school. Why isn't he in school? Sir, why isn't he in school? Like, I'm like 7 myself, but I'm seeing like another 8-year-old or 7-year-old. And I'm like, why isn't he in school? Why hasn't anyone answered this question for me? Why isn't this child in school? I'm 7 myself. I'm pissed. But that is what it's like, actually, I think, being a Westerner. Even being a Westerner and seeing this Ukraine footage, like, we just don't, that's why the Canadian truckers, they're like, yep, it's just like Ukraine. Canadian trucker, just like Ukraine, just like a Nazi, the same thing. It doesn't even occur to us, though, is what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't, like, they really believe that. Of course, they're like, we stand with you. We are in solidarity. Like, they're not being mean. Sometimes right-wing American Republican trolls, they'll do it to be mean. They'll be like, what these blacks are doing to me is Nazi Germany. Like, they'll do something like that as a, like, just to shake everyone up. And just to get like AOC and like the squad or whatever, like they're all like, oh, can you believe he said that? Like they know what they're doing. But I think in Canada, it's very innocent. These truckers are like, well, I mean, I'm wearing a mask mandate. Then be Hitler then. And I remember I even I showed a picture of Trudeau dressed as Hitler on the show. I'll find it for you guys. I'm going to read a little bit of this because this guy's Indian voice. It's fine. It's the robotic side of it I don't like. His search led him to study near many teachers from different spiritual schools. A brilliant scholar, he learned quickly and meditated for long periods of time, hoping to find enlightenment. When this didn't produce the results he wanted, he decided to endure great pain and suffering, fasting, and even refusing water until his body became so skinny that he resembled a corpse. Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? Oh, this is still playing. Okay. Copyright free Asian spiritual music. And here we go. Oh, sick. Danny Fortress music. No copyright. Damn, look at these visuals. Who's making these? This is so tight. This is Sana. This is just the artist's intro graphics. Tight, dude. Love it. All right. Let me go back to this now. Let's go a little lower, and tell me in the comments how that feels. Hip hop, copyright free Asian hip hop. This is pretty hip hop though, right? We'll do that next time. Okay. Siddhartha finally achieved the insight he desired when a young girl offered him some rice. Suddenly realizing that living in extreme luxury and living in extreme poverty were both wrong ways to achieve liberation, he ate the rice, recovered his health, and meditated for a long period of time before finally achieving the enlightenment that allowed him to become the Buddha. Now a spiritual teacher, Buddha encouraged his followers to follow the middle way, which offered a more balanced path than one of overindulgence or extreme suffering. His teachings became known as the Dharma, and he emphasized to his disciples that they should follow no leader, but instead be your own light. Right? Not wrong. This is a good sum up. I like this. And with the music, it's working. He's from India, by the way, but I'm playing it. Don't worry about that. Do a non-judgment meditation on that. If there's a voice in your head saying, wait, he's playing like East Asian music and it's an Indian guy, don't pick up the meaning. And let me know if my sound is weird. Bruce Wayne and the Buddha. This story of the Buddha was told to a young college-age Bruce Wayne in the novelization of Batman Begins. Hold up. Wow. Man, they had a Buddha. This is so tight that they had like a comic about this. So let's talk. Observe the Zen parable of the goat head. 10 Zen stages of understanding. I came alone, Talia. I did what you asked. No more games. Interesting. Yeah, this is so like a Batman episode. Bruce Wayne and the Buddha. Okay, this is where we left off. The story of the Buddha was told to a young college-age Bruce Wayne in the novelization of Batman Begins, written by comic book legend Denny O'Neil. Although Bruce saw no real value in mythology at this point in his life, the story remained in his mind until he realized to his surprise that he related to Siddhartha Gautama. Like Siddhartha, Bruce was raised in luxury, and while Wayne Manor wasn't as insulated as Siddhartha's palace, his early life was still one of wealthy indulgence. And this is what I mean about, you could kind of say this about the West. It's a fair thing to say about the West. When we see this footage coming from Ukraine, this, people starving, stuff like that, we're just like, oh my God, it hurts my feelings. Oh, it hurts me. Bruce received, and it should, because it doesn't even occur to us that any fighting could get that bad. I can't believe that Winter on Fire documentary. I couldn't. You're gonna get you're gonna watch the first half an hour and be like, okay, well, where is this gonna go? Where can it go from here? It's probably just all politics now. No, the fighting gets worse. It's so wild, man. And it is that other piece of shit that fled the country at the end. I'm gonna butcher his name, but he was like a president in the pocket of Poo-Tin. And basically Putin was telling him, go hard on him. If you watch the documentary, Winter on Fire, about Ukraine, that 2014, the protest, it was a peaceful protest. But Putin told that puppet bullshit president, prime minister, whatever the hell they have over there, he told him, just kill them, just beat the shit out of them, and kept sending more stuff and more weapons and more this and that. So yeah, no, listen, Putin bad, okay? I gotta say it. Bruce received his first lesson in human suffering when his parents were gunned down by Joe Chill in Crime Alley. Little on the nose, Crime Alley? They just called it Crime Alley? That's so silly. Suddenly painfully aware of the realities of death and trauma, Bruce dealt with these revelations by going on a pilgrimage of his own to help humanity relieve the kind of suffering he had experienced. Relieve suffering. Okay, yeah, I see it. Like Siddhartha, Bruce's journey led him to study under many masters who each had their own philosophies of dealing with anger, trauma, and injustice. But he's going to say the Buddha's technique is the highest. I'm such a Hindu dad right now where I'm like, see? Even your Bruce, even your Batman, he's everything learned from Buddha only. Even your Batman, oh, so good. Only, okay, without Buddha, no Batman, stupid. Everything comes from India. In the comics, Bruce studied under martial arts, manhunters, engineers, detectives, and even stage illusionists to acquire the skills he would one day use as the Batman. But first man is a Buddha. First he studied with Buddha. He even studied at multiple universities, auditing several classes to gain various forms of knowledge he deemed useful. However, Bruce still had no idea how all these lessons would come together to help him achieve his personal enlightenment. Indeed, in one comic book story, he actually tried to become an FBI agent, but quickly found the bureaucracy of the job kept him from achieving the type of justice that he wanted. Yeah, no, he's a rip and dip kind of guy. He's not going to go FBI, come on. Instead of abandoning his quest, Bruce, like Siddhartha, only redoubled his efforts by going to even more insane extremes. Just as Siddhartha chose to learn about human suffering by intentionally starving and torturing himself, many of Bruce's later lessons were similarly brutal, requiring him to escape from cages designed to kill him, risk hypothermia to learn proper body control, and survive multiple poisoning attempts to build up his own immune system. Yeah, that's true. And then they come to the enlightened Batman. Wow, dude. I love this art. It is like Hinduism. It is the same as Hinduism. The Western people have learned it only from Hinduism. We have a Hare Krishna and a Buddha and a this, and you guys make these other characters. That's fine. That's okay. You can learn it and you can use it. So what is Batman's grain of rice? His impetus to live differently. Some fans would claim it was the bat who broke through his window, bringing his mission its central totem. But even in the early days of his war, Batman was still living at one extreme, detached, violent, and obsessed. For this reason, it's not unreasonable to see Robin and the growth of the wider Batman family as Batman's middle way, one which didn't deny the need for his particular brand of justice, but also asks him to prioritize others and live by a strict set of ethics, which he passes on to those he trains. A young Bruce Wayne knew nothing of suffering, and Batman was formed in the crucible of self-torture. But at his best, the modern Dark Knight is a much more balanced figure, one who is as concerned with preventing suffering as punishing guilt. He may not have found inner peace, but recent writers such as Tom King have certainly suggested that he's now someone for who that's possible. Oh, there's more. While Batman and Buddha found very different paths, the fact is that Bruce Wayne did find his own inner Buddha nature by becoming Batman. Bruce's anger, skills, and wealth make him a dangerous man who could easily hurt both criminals and innocents if he overindulges in his dark crusade. At the same time, his childhood trauma and fear prevent him from finding fulfillment by just doing a charitable philanthropist, by being a charitable philanthropist. Instead, by acknowledging both sides of his persona and constantly seeking a balance between them, Batman was able to use the lessons of the Buddha to become the best version of himself. And you see, and in this way, the Buddha is, yes, of course. And in this way, it is the Hindu teachings in this way that inform all, it is at the root of all things. Oh my God, where's this music playing from? Oh yeah, I got it. Asian Japanese music, lo-fi hip hop mix. That's tight, I like that. Let's give this guy a shout out. Give the shout out and let's go to comments. And let's begin. Let me begin this spiritual discussion from the comments. First of all, let's like this song. Great track. Oh my God, great visuals too. Beautiful. And it just says no copyright. So it's just ready for the remixing. That is a very Batman look, you know? It's a very samurai Batman. Well, it's samurai though. It's completely different, but still. You know what? You got to subscribe. Sena Bibliotecam. Sick, man. Whoa, dude. This is what we need. Okay, everyone start ripping on this. Sena Bibliotecam. Oh, shit. Time to take the market. Drip, drip, rip, and dip, baby. Wake it up. Wake up. It's 12 in the afternoon. Time to take the market, baby. Let's get it. This is going to be a regular on the show. 100% has to be a regular on the show. I love that music. Let's take a look at the comments. Hohenheim is here. Mash Z, Tony Sled, Ed Lachinsky. Please, Morton, Jay Gebru. Ed Lachinsky is talking to, okay, so of course Morton is in here. You know, I really got to watch any kind of beefs that are starting up in the comments here. Because I remember Leia was in, she's a real nurse. She did the episode, she actually came on the show. And then after she got off, a bunch of people started like getting mad at her about some vax mandate shit. And it's like, hey, let the nurse, can you just let the goddamn nurse be the one who knows? Sick. But Jacob Brew, Ed Lajinsky says, Ed Lajinsky says, please, Morton, a lot of crap was fake. Russia tries very hard to make Ukraine look bad. Yeah, no, Ed, it's true. It's true. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. They have been, and again, I can show you that footage from that War on Ukraine documentary. But listen, that's why you got to listen to the drip, because I'm really the only one who's going to say one thing hard out of my ass and then the week later be like, you know what? You know what? I had a visit from God. I had a visit from the truth, and the truth is complex. Now, I will say that NATO should be a full-time friendship organization. I don't know what they're doing there anymore. And there's people inside of the US military who have said like NATO doesn't really have a purpose there since the Cold War ended. They shouldn't be there. At the same time, Ed is bringing up this point of like Putin's pretty ripping over there. Like he's just constantly attacking them, messing with them. And if you watch that 2004, the documentary on Netflix, incredible documentary, Winter on Fire, 2014, that footage, it's insane. The amount of footage, and it just keeps coming. In the first half hour, you think like, this is it. This is all that, you know, like I got it. You know what I mean? Like I got it from a Canadian American perspective. And you know, one thing that I've been seeing on the news a lot is actually, I saw this video recently. It was on like Now This News. Let me find it. It's on Now This News. And it's basically people being like, the coverage is racist. But yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go. I want to hear more trap on this beat, guys. I'm sorry. That's a good build. It's gonna rip in a second because this is the drip, drip, rip and dip, baby. Oh my God. Damn, dude. That's great. Okay, let me show you this. And I just want to let the people know that this is a very complex situation. War is complex. It's not simple. Of course, we stand with the people of Ukraine, 100%. This is just a video I saw. It's called Hypocritical Media Coverage of Ukraine versus the Middle East. Let's see this.
They look like any European family.
Christians, they're white.
You know, this is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. Like the fact that they're white, it gets my attention. I've been a little more like, wait, what? White people? It's getting bombed. What? That's because it's our media. You know what I mean? It's almost like it kind of normalizes Middle Eastern stuff. And this is, but then, and when you're in this situation, you want to just do anything to get the people riled up. Because that's what they're doing. They're saying like, this is really bad. We got to talk about it. Now, why didn't they feel like that about Yemen and all this stuff? Honestly, probably because this is a move towards them. You know what I mean? It is like, it's like Russia takes this, like all that bullshit propaganda they did about Vietnam, where like you can watch old military footage or like military generals being like, if we let Vietnam fall, next it's Laos, they take Cambodia, Japan's gone, they're at our doorstep. And you're just like, what the fuck are you? Go home, you idiot. You have no, you don't, what do you mean? If Vietnam goes communist, that's what they had. They have the guys in front of a blackboard too. I think it's McNamara, like the chief of head of the State Department or something, or the security, whatever. I don't know. The guy, they don't have a security department. They have like a military thing, but I think State Department is what he was in charge of. And he was talking about how like, if Vietnam goes to communism, next they got Laos, then Cambodia's gone. Next it's Laos, then Cambodia. Next thing you know, they got Hawaii. They're on our doorstep. Communism's on our doorstep. That's what they used to say. You know what I mean? So I do feel like all of that is just such a waste of time and such just American warmongering. But I guess listen, it's a direct attack on them, so they're going to go harder.
When they say, oh, civilized cities, and in another clip, well-dressed people, and this is not the third world, they really mean white people, don't they?
Yeah, no, it's terrifying when it happens to white people. It is.
Now with the Russians
I don't know
marching,
what to tell
it's changed the calculus entirely. Tens of thousands of people have tried to flee the city. There will be many more. People are hiding out in bomb shelters. But this isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan, that has seen...
It is, though. It's just like Iraq and Afghanistan. And let's hope that... You know what I say? Let's hope that this white thing keeps all of them up in the news. Let's hope this white thing is a final thing for the whole world to say, hey, you guys need to just stop going. You're not allowed to be in Vietnam. You're not allowed to be in Iraq. You're not allowed to be in Yemen, Libya, whatever what are you doing? All over the world. Just causing fights all the time. It's ridiculous.
Conflict raging for decades. You know, this is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that. Or
Gotta choose it carefully because I'm going to get canceled. Gotta choose that carefully because someone's gonna say I'm racist, but
or hope that it's going to happen.
You know what? Next day he said regret the statements. Just don't worry, like leave it, honestly. I don't like social justice shit. Like when people get too caught up on those where they're like, no, he's racist, fire him. It's like, it's fine. He said it. He admitted the next day. Even as he was saying it, he's like, I'm totally gonna get canceled for this, but these girls are fucking hot, okay? We got smoke show girls, blonde hair, blue eye, 10s, fucking 10s, okay? They're 10s on the street, bombs behind them. Can we get a convoy for these models? Where's the model convoy? That's what this guy's like losing it. He's like, talking about hotties, baby, hotties, okay? None of this hijabi shit. I saw the face. Can we help?
now the unthinkable has happened to them. And this is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
Not in Europe. Eastern. Even they have their levels. Eastern.
As you're talking to us, Matthew, we're playing in the latest pictures of some of the refugees trying to get on trains or trying to get out of Ukraine. And what's compelling is just looking at them, the way they're dressed. These are prosperous, I'm looking to use the expression, these are prosperous middle-class people. These are not obviously refugees trying to get away from areas in the Middle East that are still in a big state of war. These are not people trying to get away from areas in North Africa. They look like any European family that you would live next door to.
These are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from neighboring Ukraine. I mean, that, quite frankly, is part of it. These are Christian.
This is, I guarantee you, Ed is like, what the fuck is this shit? Even Ed Luchinsky's over there, and he's like, listen. Don't say, hey. We got to do something, people. They're not Syrians. Like, I guess the first time they say it, they're like, there's a bombing. Yeah, so what? No, white people getting bombed. What? God is great. God is great. Wow. Anyway, let's keep going.
They're white.
It's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed. Children being killed every day with Putin's missiles.
Okay, well, that one wasn't even... That one was like just straight, just describing them. He could have just as easily, if he was somewhere, like, it's the comparison you got to watch. See, you got to watch it, guys. You can't just put everyone in there. That guy was just saying, beautiful children, blonde hair, blue eye. If he was in Africa, he'd be like, beautiful black people, dark, beautiful skin, and like lips like rose, and so beautiful, teeth are white, and oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's, he's just describing. I don't think he would do it. I think he would say, Indian people coming, oh my God, still they are hairy everywhere, but still they are children of God. Still they are children of hair everywhere is growing on them, but still we welcome them. They are a son of God, you are. They probably, like, that could have been the rest of that clip. Realistically, in today's media landscape, that could have been the rest of the clip. But then they just cut out the blonde hair, blue eyes part, and they put that.
Some of the media coverage of the conflict in Ukraine has been kind of off. We have reporters and pundits making some rather awful remarks about the nature of this conflict and these refugees versus, say, conflicts and refugees in the Middle East. First off, Europe has been home to some of the worst...
Man, Mehdi Hassan is on the watch for this shit. And I love that, man. He really rips, this guy. And I feel like 10 years ago, he would have been seen as too radical. Little too Muslim, they would have said 10 years ago. But today... he rips, and it's correct. No, and I haven't seen him do any, like, you know, just like meaningless social justice, just all tight, like real shit.
Wars and worst war crimes in human history. I mean, the Holocaust. So why this surprise that bad things are happening in Europe? And second, when they say, oh, civilized cities, and in another clip, well-dressed people, and this is not the third world, they really mean white people, don't they? The reason they seem to want us to care more about Ukraine, and we should care about Ukraine, but not because they're white Europeans. That shouldn't be the reason we care about Ukraine.
Yeah, no, that's what's so disturbing in all of this. And in fact, not only that, it's trying to make an excuse why the West should get involved and embrace these refugees and help them. Listen, let's be clear. You should encourage and actually help refugees because they are fleeing a war. I don't know if you saw this. There was a op-ed today in the Telegraph. Well, I think we have. We'll put it up for our viewers to see. This was an op-ed in which the writer, Daniel Hannon, said that these people, the Ukrainians, they're like us. They watch Netflix. They have
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, too. Because, I mean, sometimes I'll hear it at the Patel conventions, and sometimes I'll hear it on some conservative talk radio, but there is a lot of, like, American right-wing people and Indian right-wing people that are just put, and a lot of, honestly, from the Patel community, from my own community, there's some uncles that I've seen growing up, and they're saying, hey, Amish, the Muslims are taking Europe! The Muslims are taking Europe. Why don't you talk about that in your comedy, huh? Do some real comedy, Amish. Talk about that Muslim taking Europe. Doesn't mention you've been bombing them for all these years.
Instagram accounts. They read uncensored newspaper, and then goes on to say that war is no longer something visited upon impoverished and remote population. Oh no, it's happening to us here in Europe. And to your point, you're absolutely correct. Europe has had some of the worst human rights abuses and atrocities and wars in not just modern history, in all of history.
Very interesting, because, like a lot of times the coverage on this stuff becomes like, oh, I guess he's just evil. I guess it's just pure evil and nothing that we did wrong. None of our meddling, nothing on, I'm talking about Europe, the rest of Europe, which I think is very meddly, and America especially. NATO being there, but also in the whole world. Like, what? And even going back to the Cold War stuff and like just coming out of World War II and having that very enemy frame, instead of just setting up those sister cities. As I mentioned earlier, we should be setting up sister cities. And I think that's why they call them sister cities, because sisters are even more loving. It's a very feminine project. It's a loving kindness project, the sister cities. Yeah, no, I think that's great, man. I really think that's like, I know, right? Like a military person can be like, no, that's not, what do you mean? We should be telling military people like the highest priority actually should be sister cities. Like, it's actually better than, I know you're working on some bomb and you got to spend $4 trillion on a missile thing. And I know you want to do all that and you think that's so high priority. Sister city, like, New York and Moscow are sister cities. They haven't done, did they do their presentations this month? What's happening? Why aren't we on the offensive with loving kindness instead of just being on the offensive with the bombs and guns and tanks? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it's crazy. Even last week, listen, man, when you're in a tough spot though, and I'm not like, obviously we're officially on the side of the Ukrainian people here on the Drip. Of course, my graphic designer is Ukrainian. Of course, we are officially on the side of the Ukrainian people. Let me show you some of the work that he's done for me. The guy does incredible work, Ed Lachinsky, in the comments too. We're going to go back to the comments in 2 seconds. But, when you're in a tough spot, you do kind of do this thing where you go, okay, well, just say whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just say what you got to say to get the troops over here. That's the tough spot that you're in. So it's not even a knock to, even if Ukrainians are putting their, hey, we're not Arabs. Like, if you, no, I'm not saying, obviously, like, as a whole, we need to start addressing that. And there's a lot of people, I think Yehuvi was talking about this last week. A lot of people are talking about this in the comments, the second class treatment. But when you're in that tough spot, you'll use any angle. You're going to use any angle that you got to get out, man. It's like 400 million. The refugees are insane. So many, such high numbers. And I'm going to just say, yeah, that one last thing about this that scares me about like Western media coverage of it. See, this is another place where I do feel like it is like a meddling, because it's like NATO, you can't go in and help, really. You can't do, like, there's a real solid thing that you need to do. You can't do that. You can't put the blood of your children on the line for it. But you've made these, you're out there shaking your ass, flirting with them. It's like, there is an issue there. But anyway, what point was I trying to make? Okay, so the other thing, so I do think there's some blame on NATO. I'm not saying like Putin's like playing it up and making it into his own propaganda, but there's some blame on NATO. The other thing, there's some blame on Western media, because there is this story that we keep playing. It's like, look at them. They are so brave. They're standing up. Yeah, yes, 100%, 100%. But then when I'm seeing a lot of stories of like, Putin's losing. Putin sucks. He's losing. Putin feels like an idiot right now. Like there's so many stories like that. That story, I think, is a bad idea, man. Stay on your toes, baby. You just, as a world, maybe, like, we all have to, I think. Because one thing that Russia historically has been good at is really sloppy, unorganized wars that are just about, like, we don't care about our people. That's their ace card in Russia. It always has been. Their ace card has always been like, you think I'll kill you, and I'll kill 10 of them to kill one of you. It's always been their goddamn strategy in Russia. They're vicious like that. When there's time to fight, it's time to fight. And in the West, we are seeing a lot of these like, Putin's losing. Putin has a small dick. Putin upset that he has a small penis too. It's something like that. Like there's just every day there's some those stories I think are I don't see it. I don't see the value of it. So my friend sent me this Johnny Harris video. Last week we talked about the Johnny Harris video. I feel oh my god, I can't. I just feel like he has this like social justice voice to him that I don't like. And like look at this picture. This picture's like just a thumbnail. And look, you're going to look at me and say, you know what, Amish? Why don't you make some banger-ass thumbnails like this? Look at this thumbnail. Hey, Putin, you're canceled. This video was basically, he did this video a month ago. This video was, hey, Putin, you're canceled. Hey, Putin, you're a big meanie, and I heard you're a loser, and I heard you're a small penis too. Got it. It is this weird, it is like it's war propaganda. It's classic war propaganda. Listen, I'm throwing in the small penis thing, but that's classic war propaganda. Like World War I, II, I feel like they were dropping pamphlets like that. They would drop pamphlets that were like, dude, like, like they would drop pamphlets that were like, yo, Hitler's girlfriend, she's banging a French dude. Ah! Like the French would drop that just to break their morale. You know what I mean? But no, I don't think it's this guy, like he's one of those people that's so weird because it's like, and then this one he's doing fundraiser. So he's raising money for it too. But it's one of those things where you just kind of go like, it does feel like war propaganda to me. It does feel like why we should be telling Joe Biden to pick up the goddamn phone and call Putin and say, hey, what's going on? Sorry about NATO. Can you stop? Like, you have to stop. Like, or I don't know, whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, now that they're in the mess, it's like it's hard to, you know, really even. It's so complex now. It's so complex now. But Putin is also pretty vicious, pretty evil. Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's not. I can't do the video where I'm like, hey, Putin, you big meanie. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. I guess that is like Jocko doing the President Jocko. Putin, you screwed up. Honestly, I just want to give another shout out to Louis Mold. Such a great, Lior Calabresi or something like that. His name is. He's a Israeli guy, and he did a show last week. Honestly, let's stop talking about this. This is so depressing. I don't want to talk about it. But let me share the sound and let's keep playing this hip hop lo-fi. It is hip hop lo-fi. Let's go, baby. Next track. Yeah, no, I got to give you a weekend recap. I've had a banger weekend, actually. A lot of phone numbers, not phone numbers, like it's a lot of phone numbers and Instagram, but I don't do phone numbers anymore. I do Instagram. It's a lot of Instagrams that like, I don't even want to call anyone or, you know what I mean? Like follow up. It's just like, hey man, I'm just getting warmed up. That's just weekend one, warmed up. And I had 2 banger shows on the weekend, but nothing was like a love connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so old now that I know that these girls, like if I mess them back, like I'm just going to get like a, who dis? Oh, you know, and then it's like I gotta redo. It's like doing a sales call. I don't like it. I hate sales calls. I think that's why. I think ever since I started doing those, I worked in a sales company where you had to make 300 calls a day, and then I related that to dating. Like if you have a weak lead with a phone number and then you call them, it is a little bit like, "Hi, I met you on the thing. Amit, brown guy. We had some jokes about. We told a joke about this." I bought you 2 drinks. Not that matters. Like you know, it's like this kind of like a weird. It is like a cold, like a sales cold call, and they're trying to reawaken the lead. They're just like calling 6 months later. I was like, hey, it's me from Turbo Pro Systems. Yeah, you were using us. You switched suppliers. Just wanted to give you a call. Just wanted to say hi and let you know that we have some great deals coming up. It was like that kind of attitude. I didn't like it. I really feel like you got to have like a bit of a love connection in real life, or it's like, don't even bother. Better to get the Instagram that way. Then it's like, oh, they're following on Instagram, post stories. Then from stories, they come back through. Like an impressive story will get someone, but you know, just a phone number is like a waste of time, honestly. And I think all the whole pickup community is teaching this today. The whole pickup community, they are teaching it. They're teaching that don't even phone number, don't waste your time. Instagram, and then make your life sexy. So they're getting a little drip, 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 drip. That's very true, actually. That is good advice. I gotta say, that is really good advice. But no, it's a vicious weekend, actually. It was incredible for shows. I did 2 live shows, both amazing. I told you the one I did on Thursday, the guy opens the show with like, yeah, this Putin really took the heat off COVID, and they just laughed. The whole crowd was like, yeah, Putin, yeah. We love him. They were like that. They were like, went crazy because that's how much they hate COVID. That's how much they hate COVID. They were so pissed. They were like, yeah, COVID's over. It's basically over. And anyone who brings it up, people are just like, nope. Hey. Just cool it. Just cool it. I woke up here the other day. We have a studio in the house. I wake up, my roommate has like clients over, and I walk out around the corner. I see him. He's like, Amish. He's like, he has a mask on. He's like, Amish. Mask. And then I go to this comedy show, and I'm telling these comics about they're like, no, come on, it's over. He wants to do it. I was telling someone that like my roommates will look up the official rules, and then they'll be like, well, they're downplaying the rules. That's not the ideal safety rules. The ideal safety rules is that we do this more, but the government's just doing that because they're being pressured by these truckers. So we'll do the more stringent. Like that's what. Yeah, no, that's some high level white people that, as they say in stand-up comedy, that is a very high end white person that it says, Amish, the government mandates this, and we should, for the good of the society. Like that is genuinely a true good attitude. That's a nice attitude. No, honestly, that's why it works, right? Canada, it's good. We're not like fighting with the government all the time. It's good. We don't have to. They have good recommendations, I thought. But honestly, thank God for the truckers for making that mask mandate go away. And then, not to say yay Putin, but like, if anything, I'd say the truckers, I feel bad for them because until Putin came, the truckers kind of had a leg to stand on, saying like, hey man, because of us, no mask mandate. And it was like, yeah, you did like whatever you did. Like Putin just did it times 445. So your contribution is completely lost now. Yeah, I feel bad for the truckers. It's like they didn't even exist. With Putin coming in, it's like the truckers don't even exist. They didn't even happen. What was that shit? Peaceful protest, peaceful arrest. The arrest was also peaceful. It was just so chill because I think ultimately in your heart of hearts, you're just like, even though you have signs like, this is tyranny, this is the mask mandate is tyranny, but there's a voice in your heart that says, you don't need to die for this. And that voice will step in. And it did step in. And I think that's the proof. You know what I'm saying? If it was some real shit worth fighting for, it would have been like Ukraine. It would have been like that winter on fire. Like people would have just said, no way, it can't be, or whatever. But in the end, like it wasn't. But then here's the sad thing about it. The depressing thing is that it did trigger the Canadian government to pass a law that I think was an overreach, which is that what is it? The Emergency Measures Act. Yeah, no, I think that's a step too far. Unacceptable. To do emergency measures, do it legally. Excuse me. Be organized and figure it out and do it. Get it done. Subby Man says, Hola, Bolt. Y'all can see this, right? Yeah. Yeah, you must be able to see it. Hold up. I can just check by going up. Yeah, you must be able to see it. I can see that. Okay, cool. Raziel the Great, Mac 23806. Raziel the Great says, always lie to you for war profit. It's true, man. The first casualty of war is the truth. And they said that 100 years ago. So 100 years ago, people have been good at that shit, that this like just making up fake shit. And yeah. Helio Rosa, those are always the same people. They cried about Trump too. Many of them still cry to this day. Arunex, Western media claiming Putin is losing. When did they obtain Putin's strategy plan? I know, right, Arunex? Like, it is this weird thing to be positive about it. It's kind of like the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Like, it was just a hotter story to say, like, he's a racist gunman and he went to a Black Lives Matter rally to kill people. And these white people might let him off. We better get, and then you watch and you're like, the guy, it's nothing. I mean, it's something. He did kill 2 people. He was like a 17 or something. Got an AK-47, went to a rally, went to like a peaceful protest with this gun. But this is the American culture. This is their culture that they grew up in. This is the culture that allowed him to have this gun. They believe in the gun right, whatever. So in the end, yeah, like that's why he just walked, because their culture doesn't have a problem with that. Really, they don't have a problem with the guy going to this place. And also, the people that attacked him really were attacking him. So, and he did do some social services. He did some social work, the Kyle Rittenhouse kid. He ended up being maybe like a nice boy. Just caught up in a culture that thinks it's good to have guns and it's good to, go out kind of aggressively looking for this fight. And I think this is the same mistake I see with NATO. And not to say that, that's the only reason all of this happened, but I do think they have some blame on it. And not to say that Putin can't play that up, but I think they do have some blame on it. And it's an unconscious behavior from America, and maybe inside of America too, but also outside. It's this unconscious behavior where they're almost looking for a fight. You know what I mean? Like they're looking for a fight, so you project a fight a little bit. And then the other person's also doing that. That's the thing. As human beings, it's like we're not country against country. We should all be watching the conservatives within our country. They are technically one people, the conservative, that not conservative. I know I'm talking about the military types. Like even when I was a kid, I used to go to these Patel conventions, and in one corner, there would be some guy doing those like, hey, Muslims are taking Europe. The Muslims are taking Europe. And you guys don't want to have kids. The Muslims are getting married, having 10 kids, and you got a chihuahua, you got a little dog. Oh, that's great. That's great. When the invasion comes, you're going to go out with your little cute. You're going to go out like that, and Muslims going to come, 11 kids, 4 wives, 11 kids. You're dead. You're toast, buddy. This is like one corner of the Patel convention. Obviously, like Indian accent. I'm giving him like an American accent, but no. In America, they have the same thing. Like they have these talk radio hosts. That's what they do. They just go, and I think I heard one, because my mom has the conservative shows on hers. And it just comes in the middle of the day, and she doesn't know. She doesn't even know how to change a station. So I think she's on some like 680 CQRT talk radio. We're talking here. All right. So these Muslims are getting married to 4 women, having unlimited kids. But if one of our boys asks a girl on a date, now he's canceled. CKTY 1010 talk, call in, give a talk. Let's have a talk about it. And then people will call in and be like, I haven't had a girlfriend in 7 years. You can't even talk to these bitches. Like, he's just pissed. No, they had one guy like that. That's basically just like, that's because I'm now this feminism. Before my dad said, you'd go up to a lady, say, excuse me, hey, I like your legs. You're beautiful. Let's go on a date. What are you doing? You just see a man was a man, and now you got to go up. Oh, canceled. The white guys are getting canceled. The Muslim guys are getting 4 wives. That's great. Yeah. CKTY 1010 call in. Just have a talk about it. Please, Martin. I'm straight body shaming over here. Who did I body shame? The U.S. set the norm for invading and disrespecting sovereignty. Are we surprised when others follow suit? Avid243. Yeah, I agree with that, brother. I mean, the number one, even with China, every time their diplomats or whatever are out, and like I remember I saw Mehdi Hassan just asking one of them, like, what are you doing with the Uyghurs, the Uyghur population, this and that. First thing, the Chinese, like the comeback always from the person on the Chinese government side, the first comeback is always Americans do it. Oh, you think that's bad? How come you don't mind when America does it here? Second point, it's always like, first point, if you think it's so bad, how come it's okay when your government does it? And the thing is that they do. You've set yourself up as the leader of the free world, right? So everyone's looking at you to set the pace here. So a country like Russia that has these aspirations, a country like China that, could really pull through on these expectations. And he's written it in the book. Xi Jinping wrote it. He put it in the book. Xi Jinping thought it's in the book. Part of their grand vision is their number one. the white man being number one, this is a shame on the East. The white man was never meant to be number one. That's according to the Chinese. Yep, that's the official current policy. They call it the century of shame. And, they have a very fair grievance about the opium wars. When the British government, then the British Empire, told the Emperor of China, you got to buy something. We keep buying stuff from you. Basically, same shit that's happening today with the U.S. The British Empire basically said to the Chinese Emperor, you got to buy something, dude. I can't just be dependent on you and owe you trillions of dollars. Like, I have no more money, and if you bought something, we could just offset and we could be fair or whatever. And the Chinese Emperor said, all that I need is in my empire. All that I need is in the walls of the Chinese Empire. And India's right there. What could you possibly have for me? British. I mean, I guess the Brits maybe were trying to sell stuff from India, to be honest, because they had India at that time. I think they still had it. But the Chinese government said no. And then, honestly, so rude. They just bombed a port open and sold opium to a bunch of people and just sold it direct to the drug dealers. So it's not even like they just gave them opium. They got money. They got paid for the opium, but they just set China back with that. I mean, you just put the population on opium. They're fucked up. They just flooded it with cheap opium and just ruined them. And then, just two bombings. And then I think they got Hong Kong for 100 years. And now Hong Kong wants to be free. So that is another complexity there too. The people of Hong Kong are like, why, I don't want to be part of China. But the people of China are also saying hey, this is a 100-year contract. It's a colonialism contract. You know what I mean? This is a colonial contract that what? You're British because they bombed us and made us buy opium? Come back. Even with Tibet, China took it over in 1950, I think. And they basically are like, yeah, you guys are going by British rules, but by our rules, we should have the whole other side of the Himalayas. India should be way in a bit. That's how that's what they're doing now. They're attacking India. So anyway, AvidTuber 43, the U.S. set the norm for invading and disrespecting sovereignty. Are we surprised when others follow suit? 100% agree with you, brother. They are really not setting a good example on this right now. Helia Rose, Hohenheim Productions, Please Morton, Ed Lachinsky, Mash Z, Kendon Reed. Wow, so many people. Thanks for coming, everyone. Sukhbir Singh. Oh, Sukhbir Singh has attended my my meditation. Thank you for coming. Raziel the Great, Hohenheim, I've already read that. What else did I want to talk about today? I actually have so many topics. So many topics, because what I did was I watched a great YouTube documentary. Man, I am loving Zoom though. So much better than StreamYard, right? Because it's not like I'm not getting your comments on here. What's the next thing I want to talk about? Oh, honestly, this is a must view for all Coffeezilla fans even. And I don't want to play this. I don't want to play the audio on this because Netflix has been dinging me for audio bullshit. But I mean, okay, just to set it up though, here on the drip, I started with Steven Coffeezilla as he was rising up in the anti-scammer game, right? I think he was 89,000 when I joined. The first episode we did was about this, me going to Trump University, which was a scam. And I went and I attended the first Trump University. That's an incredible podcast that we did. You can check it out on his channel. It's got 600,000 hits for a 2-hour podcast. It's pretty decent, or an hour and a half maybe. But anyway, we talk about scammers and schemers here on the channel. It's always going to be a regular thing. Scammers and schemers on the channel. We got to talk about the scammers and the schemers on the channel. And after so many years of talking about these scammers and schemers, you think you saw everything. You think you've seen it all. Then Netflix comes out with a documentary, and I'm just just when I thought I'd seen the evil, they show me this documentary. It's more evil than anything I've seen. And evil coming from people that you're supposed to love the most. Almost kind of like when church people do it. or like religious people do it. It's like the person who's supposed to be a great healer and a lover of God, that's the one making the biggest sins. Well, this is kind of like that. This is a roommates. This is a documentary about roommates. Each episode, different roommate. Worst roommate ever. Oh, it's pure evil in here. This is a true study of sociopathy. Let's just play a little bit of the trailer. I'm not going to play the audio. Like, I mean, they live with you. And here's the worst thing is that, and one thing that they all kind of use in this is these like liberal laws passed to protect tenants. See, this is how evil this is. This scam hinges on liberal, like very well-intentioned, well-meaning liberal laws created to protect tenants. It uses that, and the person is so evil that they can take that beauty, that good intention. It is just like a religious person being like a big sinner. These guys are coming in as roommates, coming in as people like, hey, I need help. Hey, can I live here? Or they're coming in as like, hey, if you need help with your housing, I can help you with housing. I help seniors with housing, stuff like this. And then once so one person is like luring other people in like that, as like, I'm a helper of like, you know, people who have trouble with housing, seniors specifically who have trouble with housing. And then another guy though, the third or fourth episode, just huge guy, huge lawyer, dates women. This is, dude, it's so evil. He dates women, and then he like starts kind of living with them, and then he knows the law is basically like, if there's a piece of mail with your name on it, can't kick me out. The tenant board will protect me. That's basically, he knows. See, this is a pure evil, right? Now, this woman, Dorothy Puente, let's start with like this first episode. Oh my God. Yeah, this is all 5 of them. This one I haven't seen. This guy's, but let's go to Dorothy Puente's. No, this guy's awful too. But this one, first episode, out the gate. This is a documentary series. Out the gate, they said, oh, you've been doing, you talk about scammers on your podcast. Has anyone been this evil? Not even once. This is another level, this lady. I can't believe that truly, we are in Kali Yuga. Let's pull up a clip of Kali Yuga. I want to see Kali Yuga. I'm wearing a Kali t-shirt, but it is Kali Yuga, people. Honestly, I don't know. I don't want to be doom and gloom. I don't want to be scaring the community here. You know what I mean? That's why we got to make sure we got to keep our love tight. We got to be loving, extra loving kindness right now. Because in these times, when we have people like this woman, oh my God. So she's a senior herself. She's been in the game, like the crime game, been in and out of jail, done all kinds of wild shit. But her little scheme and little scam is she would get other seniors to move in. And I know people who did this to their own parents. She would get someone to move in, say, hey, you're having a hard time and you need help. Listen, my accountant handles all the finances and I'm actually very good with that. Why don't you just sign the paper and just have them put it on my name? That's okay. I'll take care of it for you, baby. Dorothy Puente. Once they sign it over, how bad does it go from there? What do you think? What do you think? She signs it over and then she's like manipulates them, whatever. No. Signs it over, then, spoiler alert, cover your ears. Spoiler alert and trigger alert. Spoiler alert and trigger alert. She transfers over the payments, the Social Security retirement payments. She transfers it to her name and then kills them, buries them in the backyard. This woman rips, man. Are you kidding me? What scammer have we done? That's just got the full murder happening too. Like she goes all the way with her scam, dude. Signs over the Social Security and then doesn't report that they're dead. Hold on, this music is... That song just feels a little bit, you know? Hold up, let's find another track for you guys. For my most beautiful community. Wow, our community is so beautiful, my darling. Okay, here, let's play this track. Yeah. This is a song that I play in my meditation. my loving kindness meditation. And honestly, when seeing evil like this is now is the time for loving kindness. We need to practice our loving kindness. This is vicious. This woman signs over the checks, then just offs them in the backyard, and just stayed stone cold straight all the way through the court cases, everything. She never felt, even they didn't see even a sign of guilt on her face. She didn't give a shit. And she's killing people. Some of the people that she got, they were so sweet too. You know, because senior citizens are kind of cute, right? Like kids. So it's like a senior, and then like one guy who was like senior and like slow, like mental illness, kind of slow, but so cute. You know, because if we are operating correctly, actually, it's actually very natural for us. If you're operating correctly, vulnerability creates more love inside of you. And he had so many vulnerable traits on him. He had like his face, he was always like, oh, hi, Cindy. Like, it was just like so sweet, soft-spoken, like, just kind of smiling, kind of confused. Just the kind of guy, his whole face is saying, can you help me? Like, his whole face is like, it's almost like, because you return to being a child again. Actually, this is a great Hindu piece of art, actually. I really like this one that shows like how reincarnation works from the perspective of the Hindus. But really, the oldie is like the youngie. They have a similarity, right? And that guy, like one of the guys that she got was the kind of guy that's like, it's kind of like if you see a 5-year-old at the, like, just a 5-year-old thinks their parents their parents left them somewhere, and they're just like, it's that it's like, there's like a critical minute. The lump is building. The tears are right there. And the kid's just like, do you know where my mom went? Do you know where my mom went? I don't know where my mom is. Yeah, I don't know. I can't hear it. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what his face was all the time. He was like that all the time. So innocent. And so sweet. Maybe he had Alzheimer's, something like that. Such a sweet man. And there was a social worker, and God bless these social workers, man. Oh, there's a great social worker character, and she feels such a guilt because she got the guy to go live with her. She was sending people to her, but she was an honest, loving social worker that really cared about the culture and the community. And to this day, in the interview, she's walking around like with some guilt in her heart, and she should, according to the Buddha, she should release that guilt. She actually did nothing wrong. She's innocent, you know what I mean? And she should remember that. I hope someone tells her that, because she's an incredible lady. The woman who was doing the social work that really, though, was funneling all of these people into her house. But it's not her fault. It's not her fault. She was doing God's work. It was incredible work she did. And so when this woman, Dorothy, when she killed the guy that I'm telling you about, the really cute looking guy, old guy, I'm sure he'll pop up in a second. But when she got that guy, he, she just kills him and buries him in the backyard. Oh, this is the social worker, by the way. God bless these social workers, man. Oh, that's not a good shot to stop on. Oh, I had it. Okay, there we go. Incredible. I hope she doesn't feel that guilt in her heart. According to the Buddha, I don't know if I can, I'm partially trained in loving kindness and forgiveness, and I can officially actually say that you are forgiven, lady. You did nothing wrong. I mean, you did something very wrong, but like, it's not your fault. You didn't know, and you're doing your best for them. And she really was on it right till the end, and she helped make the documentary. I feel like she was like really a big part of getting the information and getting her after too. But it's like that guilt, like she just feels guilty about it. Such a great documentary. Such pure evil. That's just episode number 1. I couldn't do all of them. This guy, oh my God. So that's episode number 1. What is she using? She's using like the seniors. She's got the seniors in, getting the social security, and then just straight up killing them, man. just straight up killed them, poisoned them, killed them, buried in the backyard. Didn't flinch. Pure evil. And I'm going to tell you the Buddhas and the perspective on why there is this kind of an evil in the world after we get through the next couple of people I want to talk about. So I think third episode was about this guy. This guy, this is a pure evil too. So he's going around to other people in the Middle Eastern community and in the Palestinian community and saying, brother, I am from Palestine. We have to fight back. We have to have a freedom and we have to show in the world stage that we are a nice people. Beautiful story. They had a beautiful story about how this guy was playing up this Palestine, hey man, I'm from Palestine and I run these marathons. So he was in Chile or he was in South America and he's telling the Palestinian community, hey, help me out, man. I'm just trying to do good for Palestine. I'm just trying to bring Palestine on the map on the side. I want people talking about something good to happening there, that our people are leaving and then running these marathons and stuff. So if you could support me in the marathon, that'd be great. Turns out, not even from Palestine, he's Lebanese. And he's just a sociopath. Just made up that story just to get sympathy, get people's money. Run away with it. That is pure evil. Right? This series, I didn't watch the second episode because my roommate was like, I don't know. And I'm just so busy. But the second episode, not as much. This one is a little stretch on the roommates, but the evil. And this guy, by the way, no time, nothing. He's out. Now, did he kill anyone? No, but he beat up a girl and buried her. Actually, no, he tried to kill a girl. Yeah, he did try to kill a girl and bury her alive. And she had to climb herself out. For Palestine, because Palestine, brother. Brother, look what they are doing to us in Palestine. Bro. How can you be so evil, brother? How? And that girl talks about, she's like, because look how serious his eyebrows are. His eyebrows are thick. And you can tell he's shaving in the middle and off a bit. Because that is 100%, this is a unibrow guy. You can tell. And anyway, this woman who was in the documentary, who he scammed and tried to kill her. She's like, I can't, she's saying in the documentary, she's like, if I see a dude with heavy eyebrows like that, I can't, I'm done. I'm out. Sorry, I can't. That's the trauma left behind. There might be a thick eyebrowed man that loves her and that wants to do, but I can't. The trauma, it's too much. Can't do it anymore. So that was one of the episodes. I don't think I really gave away anything about that. I want to show you this squatters. This professional squatter, holy shit, this guy. She was a very nice lady. Basically, he does those, this is my house now. The squatter guy, he was a lawyer. Said he was a lawyer too, or he was involved in legal stuff or whatever. So pretended he was a lawyer. Not that guy. I think it's that guy actually. No, this guy. Look at he's a beast. Look at what a beast this man is, right? So a woman falls in love with him. A tiny 45, 50-year-old woman falls in love with him. Says, yeah, you can crash. The guy doesn't leave. And then the woman even said in the documentary, she's like, when I saw the piece of mail addressed to him, I said, oh, now I'm in trouble. So you're dating a guy, and then he just stuck around for the scam. And now they're not even dating anymore. Because she can't trust the guy, and then anything she tries to do, he's mad at her. He's like, why are you trying to evict me? Why are you attacking me? This is my home. Pure evil. I mean, so far I've only done half of this episode too. So I don't know what's gonna happen in the second half of this episode. But 2 years of the drip, I thought Ukraine, Russia coverage, I thought I seen evil. This is it's that's why I honestly, and this is a very, very, very hot take. This is an extremely hot take that I actually thought of this week. This is why, honestly, I think someone like Donald Trump is actually, everyone says he's like Hitler or whatever. or they're trying to compare him to Hitler. You know what I think? I think he's more evil than Hitler. Hot take. Nobody's done this take. All these lefties, they're just doing only on the drip, baby. Only on the drip. Nobody's done this take. Nobody's done this take on the internet. That's why you come to the drip. Trump is more evil than Hitler. And I'll tell you why. Because Hitler, in his mind, was like, oh, everyone's going to love me. Like, Hitler thought he was doing everyone a favor. And he was like, no, everyone's going to love me once I do this. That's what he thought. Trump is more like these guys. They don't care about nothing. Just me, and like almost like in this moment. And the documentary made me think of this like Hindu teaching of Kali Yuga, which, listen, I know a lot of U.S. military people believe in this. They have not bastardized. They've been using this Kali Yuga teaching, and they've been doing like teachings on Kali Yuga as U.S. military people, and it's become like a bit of a war drum thing for them. See, like, and this is incorrect. The end of Kali Yuga in 2025. No, Kali Yuga is like 400,000 years. Okay, like it's all of human history has been Kali Yuga. Okay, certified. Okay, certified spiritual. I'm certified in loving kindness. Studied with the Buddha. And you know what? I am going to pull up some graphics from our boy Ed Lachinsky, and I am going to show you some of my qualifications there before we get into this spiritual discussion. Yeah. Let's see. Intro graphics number 4. This music is amazing, eh? Dun, 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 dun. I put the mic a little too far. Hold up. These are the graphics made by Mr. Ed Lachinsky. And you'll see as we forward through, my certifications are here. Harvard X. It's Harvard X, I studied Buddhism. Then as we go forward, this is my digital ashram. Close-up shot. This is some of my, this is a certificate of a class that I took on the incredible Udimai ashram, the international ashram, where I completed this training. And by the way, this graphic made by Ed Lachinsky too. I took a video of myself on my phone, sent it to him. He put it together. It's my whole head actually. And with this new 3D software, I can like rotate it and stuff for you guys. It's gonna be sick. I'll do it. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do 3D graphics. Yeah. And sound effects. The sound effects are here. I just haven't. Hold up. Sorry. Okay, so that's obviously if I do a bit where I fall off the screen. No, that's not. Is this one even in? Listen, I have like 5 or 10. I have one that's like, praise God. A bunch of people clapping. I think that's going to be key tomorrow. And that will come in tomorrow. But already I like the background music on this. This is sexy. But yes, I studied at the Udimai Ashram. So a little bit about me, a little bit about Ed Lachinsky. There, made that bus. I think it's a Russian-Ukrainian design. Built this digital ashram located on an electron cloud. Not many people can do designs there, people. There's not a lot of people that can do designs in. And guess what I just realized about this design? Wow. Ed, you're a genius. So here's what I just realized about this whole design. I told him it's on an electron cloud in your heart. So obviously that's why you can see the clouds around here, whatever. And I told him to build this. But this is what happens when you get work done with Ed Lachinsky. Look at this whole downstairs area. I didn't even know this was there. Dude, I didn't even know. So basically, this is the ashram up here. And then, yeah, of course, you can go downstairs. And of course, like, Ed, I didn't even know about this. And then from there, you can see the waterfall source coming through. Sick, dude. Yeah, no, this ashram is sick. And you can even see these rocks are floating over there. Very high source energy. Source energy is through the roof. And that's because of you guys. That's because you guys are bringing it in. We're at 32,000 subs strong. We're bleeding members. Obviously, it's going to happen for a couple more weeks because Steven, he's gone. But that's fine too. Okay, like that's fine. We just need to know who our audience is and what they want to come for. And as they learn, as they hear my lessons of loving kindness and unconditional forgiveness, and especially as the culture needs it more than ever in these difficult times, I think that people will grow to love our teachings here. So anyway, I just want to let everyone know, give a shout out to Ed Lachinsky, but also give a shout out to, not a shout out, sorry, not a shout out, show you some spiritual certifications that I currently have before we get into this. But yeah, it is the time of Kali Yuga, the time of great suffering. Wow. Look at this. This is like a political cartoon because they put, the end of Kali Yuga in 2025. This is like some kind of a joke cartoon because they have, who's this lady? She's showing her boobs. You know why? Because a lot of times they think like, because the Western woman will turn into a lesbian and just be naked on the streets. They always have like these fears. And the man will become a trans and the woman will become a prostitute for the nearest motorcycle man. I think that's what they're going for here. I don't know. Let me open image in a new tab. No, open image in a new tab. Yes, God is great. Hello, God is great. Yeah, so there's something there. This guy, I think this is Cracked Magazine. Cone Crusos Chronos on WordPress.com. Yeah, no, this is the end times coming, people. And this is why my message of loving kindness, not my message, really the Buddha's message of unconditional loving kindness is extremely important right now. We have to know about it because it's, like I said, it is Kali Yuga. But one of the great things they teach about in Kali Yuga, holy shit, this guy's setting himself on fire. But one of the things that they do teach in the age of Kali Yuga, and this is the goddess Kali, I have her on the t-shirt too. But one of the things they teach about the age of Kali Yuga is that basically like we're gonna ramp up. This is the last, it's like 400,000 years though. So it's not like right now it's happening, but basically our egos, like we're basically in this video game of life. It's like basically like a loving kindness simulation is what they teach. And they kind of teach that in Christ consciousness too. But it's basically like some kind of a loving kindness simulation. We're in it, right? And you could say Kali Yuga is hard mode. It's the hardest mode you could be on. And I remember Alan Watts was talking about this, where he says basically like this life is a video game. You are one drop of God, that loving kindness source energy. You jump in an ego, you come to play the game. You come to dance in life in the game. And it starts, there's like 3 other time periods. There's like a really sweetie one, and then there's a harder, Kali Yuga's hardest hard mode that we're in. And because we're in the hardest hard, and if you think about it, this is the time when we've seen such great evil. Evil can happen at any time. It's happening on mass scales, local scales, all the time. And you almost want to wonder, like, what is the point if these people are so vicious? And Alan Watts basically says that the Hindus say that basically in Kali Yuga, because it is a time of great suffering, and because this is like a little video game that we've created for ourselves, he was talking about like, it's like a video game, but it's like a play. So like imagine you're watching a play and you have the good guy, that's you, good person, that's you. You should be trying to wake up as a main character player in your life. But you're the good guy of your life. You're the good guy or girl or whatever. Whatever you identify as, it's fine. But you're the main good character in your life. And basically, like, if you were watching a play though, and you had that main good character, you're that main good character, and then you have the bad guys in the play. Now, Alan Watts says this, but this is what they teach in screenwriting too. If it looks like the good guy's gonna win over the bad guy, not really much. It's not that fun. It's okay. It's not great. Like, I'm not excited. I'm not on the edge of my seat, right? So raise the stakes a bit. Okay, what if it's 50-50 chance that the good guy, bad guy win? That's okay. That's okay. But you want to be in a banger, right? Like, you want this life and your life in it to be a ripper, right? Like a banger ass movie. Probably like Batman's going to be. I'm going to check out Batman tonight, I think. But you want your life to be a ripper, right? So in order to be a ripper, it's got to be 95% chance bad guy's going to win. And so all these evil characters we see in the world, they are basically characters that we've created to test out our loving kindness. Listen, I said this last week, I'll say it again. There is no evil, only ignorance. Now, how do you get so ignorant that you're killing you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. Like this lady is, this lady is like just inviting seniors into the home, getting the social security check signed over, and then just murdering them. I mean, it's a lot of ignorance there, because you just want to say, no, that's a pure evil. But when they go through her life, there is a lot of like hardships on her, not to justify it, a lot of hardships on her. And then like, you can almost see why she would be associated. Like, you can't see, like, maybe there's like a 10% chance in her. Like, some people are just born with it. And then life and her both conspired to really develop that sociopathy, that evil in her, that ignorance, you could say. But according to the Hindus, according to the teaching, the same teachings that talk about Kali Yuga, basically, like, we're into this video game of loving kindness. Everything's a constant test of our loving kindness. And it's only a fun game if the evil is pure evil. It's got to be vicious, pure evil. Because just think about it. If you were in a play, like, you want your play to be a ripper, dude. Guys and gals and everyone included. That includes non-gender binary and the trans community too. We are all children of the Most High God. I mean this for all of us. If you want your play to be a ripper, so you wanted to come into hard mode. That's what that's the teachings. So it's one way to think about it. Because what happens in Kali Yuga, actually, it just becomes more, over 400,000 years, it just becomes more and more and more chaos. And then one day it all poof disappears, and then we all wake up and remember that we're God. Then we all wake up in the kingdom of heaven. That's the official teachings. Even I think they teach it there too, in Christ consciousness. But definitely, this is the final thing is that's the final destination. And that doesn't mean don't do anything, don't fix anything, don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think loving kindness as a practice has a good way of teaching you how to be genuine with yourself, how to love, because once you love yourself, you can truly do what you love to do. Until you love yourself, you don't even know what you want. You're always thinking like, well, will people like me if I do this? Or will people like me if I do this? Oh my God, y'all missed that beat drop. Sorry. Let me go back a bit. This song is so tight. This song is amazing. This is Cyber Dream Chill Wave, copyright free on YouTube. That's it, baby. It's Monday morning. It's Monday at 1 p.m., which is an artist morning. And we're going to start just charging up the love in our hearts. Make sure that we're going into the week feeling sexy. Feeling like the Dow's behind us. Feeling like we got the full force of God behind us. Okay. Oh, last thing I want to talk about actually is, I was supposed to talk about it at the beginning, but I didn't. Probably because of Ukrainian politics. I'm just kidding. Took the spotlight. When can I talk about me? I went out this weekend. Great weekend. Incredible parties. Just like heavy and hard, like nonstop rejection in the club. Man, I really remembered how vicious the club culture is. And this really, I think it does add to my teaching that we are living in Kali Yuga, people. Hold up, check this out. Yeah, get in there. Get in there. Let's read some comments and I'm going to do my last. my last topic, which is my weekend. Let me rip this. Man, it's so nice chatting with everyone. This has got to be good for my mental health, right? This has got to be good for my mental health. Showcar 88. Amish, how's your Tinder game? Garbage. Absolutely useless. I don't know why I go on there. I'm wasting my time. And my money, quite frankly. They scammed me in. I don't know if I told you this before, but they basically, you know how they got me on their Tinder Gold nonsense? Leia, what's up, homie? Showcar, so you know how they got me into Tinder? They were like, hey, like I'm getting no matches. It really is like, just, if you're a guy over, I think 35, I think Tinder is just you looking at a bunch of girls and nobody's seeing anything on the other side. You're just playing a little silly game with yourself. So anyway, and Abbott243 says, I think Zilla had it right. We got to get offline. 100%, baby, 100%. You got to go out into the culture, into the community. And you got to do the things that you love and make friends and genuinely connect with people. I think that's the future now. I mean, for me anyway, hey, listen, if you're a 25-year-old guy, maybe you might be seen by some girls. But I can tell you this, for me, nothing. Anyway, one day I'm on there, just thinking like, well, maybe it's not in the cards for me, huh? Maybe there's nobody out there for old Amish, huh? Maybe I got to be celibate, huh? Huh? And then an ad pops up. An ad pops up saying, hey, dude, hey, Amish, you got 11 matches. But it's all blurred out. Like, you got 11 matches, dude. All blurred out. Pay us, join Gold. And then they put 3 prices. It's like $50 a month, but then it's like, just pay $600 for the year. Hey! Or it's like $400 or something for like a year. It was something stupid. It was well into the hundreds. We're talking $200-300 for 6 months, or like $500-600 for like a year. And I'm like, guys, you're trying to add like you're trying to put like an insurance payment on me here. Like, this is not. I should be paying as much for this dating app as in for like an insurance on my condo. My condo insurance doesn't cost this much. Anyway, 11 matches. I was like, okay, I'll try a month. But then as you go in, yeah, the deal for the 6 months, it's just so much. Then they were showing me like, you'll get this and this, we'll add on there. I did the 1 month. Then they go, and then another pop-up, bling. Are you sure? Get 6 months. Wait, you said you wanted 1 month. Are you sure you didn't mean 6 months? Get it now, and we'll throw in 5 likes a week, 1 boost a week. And by the way, what's a like? What's a boost? It's basically them saying, listen, you old fuck, we're not showing you to anyone anyway. They're like, this is them saying, right, you're a right geezer. You're a right geezer, so let's have it then. Let's have it then. He's a geezer, and you want to be on Tinder, you right. Or you want to get these birds on Tinder, but for geezers like you, it's an extra tax. But I saw those 11 matches. I said, maybe there's love on the other side. I was just talking to my uncle, and I was talking to my uncle, and I was talking shit about my cousin because he keeps buying scams, and my dad used to buy scams, and I'm telling my uncle, I'm like, what is it with these two? And usually he loves to just jump in and rip it with me about my dad and my cousin, but instead he goes, I was like, what is it with these guys getting scammed? And my uncle goes, because they know that this life is for you, not against you, foolish. Why don't you try something crazy? He's a preacher. He's a Hindu preacher too. So anyway, I'm in that kind of mood. So I bought Tinder Gold. I bought it. 11 matches. I said, one of these 11, someone's going to be down the street and just ready to rip and dip. And we're going to have a great 6 months. Or maybe longer. I don't know. Because this life is for me, not against me. So I paid for 6 months, 1 match. Hey, only 1 match on the other side. And it's not like I can go to them and say, hey guys, you did this, that wrong, or whatever. It's like, didn't get the receipts. Their attitude, I think, is basically like, oh, did you have 11? I don't think so. 11? But you're a right geezer. No. 11 matches for a right geezer like you? I don't think that's it, mate. I don't think you got it, mate. AvidTuber43. Nick Milton, Raziel the Great. What's up, everybody? Good London accent. Gorgurja. Thanks, homie. Nick Milton. Nick Milton. Yo, are you in Milton? Habibi, tell me if you're in Milton. I love Milton, man. Milton has the best hikes. I'm in Toronto right now. Leia's here. Leia, what's up, baby? How you doing? Thanks for coming. Leia's our frontline worker. Frontline against COVID. That doesn't exist anymore because of Putin. Leia's on the front line of COVID because of front line of COVID, which technically doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because thanks Putin. Uke Vibes. Shokar 88. Janet V. Johnson. Uke Vibes, we're not doing a guest today. Listen, I just figured out how to do... You know what it's going to be? It's going to be either guest or it's going to be music and shit and like sound effects. Tomorrow I'll have all the sound effects. But that's what the show's going to gotta be, homies. Because StreamYard is weird. And also StreamYard is not HD. It was a big turnoff for Steven. Not going to lie. Please, Morton. Heliorosa. Kendon Reed. What's up? What's up? Hambuscus Gaming. Yahoovi! Baby, Yahoovi. It's here. Don't worry. Just rewind and just keep watching from the beginning. Kendon Reed. Yahoovi, you know what you can do? Anyone who's coming late, watch from the beginning. Make sure you do all the homework. But as you're watching, type in the current area and maybe it'll pop up over here. You can be like, yo, I'm in the past. It's sick. Say something. Raziel the Great. Putin ended COVID. It's true. Krishna Bakshi. I am in Toronto too. Yeah, I know a lot of people are in Toronto and I want to do more talking about Toronto's social life. Actually, I do want to talk to you about my weekend and then I'm going to get out of here because I actually have to do work that I get paid for. But honestly, we're getting close to getting this channel back on track. So thanks everyone for coming. You are loved. All of you in the comments, I appreciate you. I think we can make this a daily ripper. You know what I'm saying? I think we can make this a daily ripper. And it's from a meditation coach, comedian, someone who knows unconditional loving kindness and can see the world events through that lens of loving kindness. That's what the culture needs right now. Thanks, Edwin Flores. For being here, Leia, Krishna, Nick Milton, all of you, you are loved. Thank you. I was in the club this week. I gotta say, man, some of the most, I think the way the attitude goes in the club is like, and again, the culture's broken. We're in Kali Yuga. I think the attitude in nightclubs right now is basically dance floor is maximum attitude. Like dance floor is max attitude. In front of the bar is like medium. And then outside is like, hey, we're friends. Really, if you're going to holler at club tonight or next weekend, I don't think I'm going to go into the club. I don't know if I want to go into the clubs anymore inside because just inside versus outside for my mental health, for how I'm feeling about me. Like, I can't believe, the attitude is just so rude though, honestly. Like, it's a lot. And I'm just like, what? Nothing even happened. Okay, so one girl I told you about, this happened. And this is shocking too. And truly, Kali Yuga is here. And maybe it's the economy and I don't want to get mad at these girls, whatever. But this girl, this happened twice now. This girl asked me to buy her a drink. And then we walk over to the bar. She was like, hey, do you want a drink? And I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. I was like, oh, you're asking me for it. Okay, cool. Because girls used to buy your boy a drink. There was a time when a girl would be like, hey, you want to grab a drink? And they're asking me because I think your boy's cute. And they want to pay for it. They're like, nope, I got it. Hey, I work. I got it. It's okay. It's cool. Honestly, most girls I've dated have probably spent a little more on me than I spent on them. Artist. Listen, don't tell me about hyper gimme bullshit that you read on some red pill shit. Okay? Nobody cares how much money you make. It's cool. It's fine. By the time they find out how much money you make, too late, we're in love. Okay? You can always do that. But anyway, I'm in the club. This girl goes, hey, you want to get a drink? This is the first time this happened. Maybe like 6 months ago this happened. She's like, hey, do you want to get a drink? I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Assuming that she's going to buy me a drink. Get to the bar, talking. She's not really listening. She's like looking around, whatever. Bartender comes, says, yeah, you going to get a drink? I'm like, yeah. It's my lucky day because this girl's going to get me a drink today. And she's like, no, you buy me a drink. What? What? I buy you a drink. You ask me. And I told her, I held strong with her. I said, no, that's not how this works. You asked, so it's actually rude if you don't buy me a drink now. And if that's how you want to do it, that's fine. That happened like maybe last year or something during some open window of open. This year though, this weekend, one girl, I'm getting my code check, we're chatting each other. I'm chatting up her friend. We're cool. Code check is another one of those neutral zones. Code check lineup is another one of those neutral zones. You can have a chat there. Chatting with her friend. It's cool. This friend comes in. She's like, and I was telling her like, I might go to after hours. And then her other friend comes in and goes, after hours? Yeah, you gonna buy us a drink there? I'll go to after hours if you buy me a drink there. And I was like, well, I don't know you. So, I mean, here it is. If I'm there and I see you, I didn't even go. I was like, I'm not going to go to this thing. Are you kidding me? I got to rip. I got to do rips. You can't do after hours. It's insane. And super shady. Like they get shot up and shit like that. Like it's crazy. So that happened. But the funniest one though, is when this girl, she's like dancing with me, hanging out. She's like, oh, you want to get a drink? I swear to God, this is so funny. As soon as she did it, I was like, oh, I was like, that's so funny. Why aren't you a writer? You should be a writer, young lady. Very good. Very funny what you did. So this is what she did. She's like, so I get the drink. So we go. And I guess I fell for it. She danced with me a bit. I guess I fell for it. I bought the drink, but it's $3 drinks. If it wasn't $3 drinks, I promise you, I would not have bought this girl a drink. But $3 drinks, and I had cash on me, and I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? If it was a tab, even, I would have been like, who's paying for this? But it's $6. Just pay for the drink. Who gives a shit, right? So I pay for the drink, and then I'm like walking away with this girl, and I'm like, yeah, so I'm writing on this TV thing, and I'm writing an original TV show. It's kind of like Avatar or whatever. And as I'm talking, she does this. She's like this. She like football, like she did a football play. She dodged around two people, ran up to some guy that she knows, and started dancing with him. Like, hi, how are you? I swear to God. I was losing. I was like, oh my God. That's so tight. What a good bit. Young lady, you should be a writer. Young lady, this needs to be in a sitcom. This is so funny. I swear to God, dude, she did it like I'm like, homie, you don't have to run away so hard. And I'm just like, yeah, so I'm writing a kids show for these thinking ship. I actually acted on it too. Just runs off, and then she's on this guy. So rude. So rude. So funny though, right? That's fucking hilarious. Brian says you dodged a bullet. Hold up. Yeah, this is better than Stream Share. It's so good because they just play the things like this. $6 V-bucks. You dodge a bullet. She sounds like a dodo. Honestly, like like you know what it is? It's all people with this. Truly, we are in Kali Yuga. But like anyone who has this scam mentality is like, you're not winning at the end of this. Like honestly, who are you gonna hang out with? I could probably have sex with better than anyone. And like the conversation, you know, I think I mentioned that I had this podcast. So yeah, I do this. Like, I think I was just like, went through a couple of like, yeah, I do this. I have a podcast called The Drip. Most girls, like last week, I met a girl on the train, and it was the podcast that got her really like, oh, you have a podcast? I didn't even say how many hits. I was like, yeah, so I do this podcast. It's called The Drip. She's like, oh my God, you have a podcast? Oh my God, podcast? Yeah, like a podcast? Like a podcast? Like she was not that much. But it's so crazy how if you just chat up someone on the subway, everyone is just like, just people that are just like, you think they're doing something. Come on, close it. Good job, brother. Keep it going. Should have said something myself, but you got it. Come on, brother. Keep it going. Okay, get a phone number. Okay, got the phone number. Closed it. Very good. Very good work. She walked out. As she was walking past, I'm like, that's how you do it. And then this guy gave me a fist bump. But like 4 people saw me do it. Anyway, yeah, like what is this girl? I swear. I'm dressed good. I'm dressed good, and it's crazy how many young guys just give me shout out. They're like, hey man, you could probably get all the girls. Hey man, you're real fun in the club. Girls, attitude. Like one girl, I was just walking in the general direction. Like I wasn't even hitting on people. Hello? Game's too tight, not hitting on people. It'll be very silly and natural if I ever do it. If I do it, it's really them. It's really attacks on me. Like it's literally these drink girls are like just putting me in some kind of drink trap. And they got the drink and she's just like, football, man. She's got out of there. What athleticism? But no, more like silly joke writing. That's so silly. But then even like another girl, like I'm walking over to the bar, and this one girl, who I kind of said what's up to her friend at the bar, but then as I'm walking by, one girl pulls the other girl and goes, L, 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 and just pulls her to the other side. It's like, sorry, no, sorry, not allowed, not gonna let it happen. Sorry. I'm like, homie, what? I'm just walking somewhere. It's not related to you. Preemptive attacks. On the dance floor, it's so. But this is the white culture. You see this? This is the Western culture, the white culture. They don't have community-based dancing in the West. This is a big issue in the culture. You know what I'm saying? There are some dance places though that you go and it is a community event. Like if you go to Baseline on Bloor Street, I might go to Baseline actually tonight or tomorrow or something, and not drink, but just go dance because I'm kind of just doing my cardio on the dance floor, so it does count. But I might just go over there, do a little dance. You know, it would be good to hand out cards for the drip too, and then talk about it and then play clips from it and all that stuff. But they have a bit of a community feel. Like if you're dancing good, people will be like, hey, you're really good at dancing. Hey, I like you're doing really great. You're raising the energy of the whole vibrate. That's great. You're doing great. Like some places are like that. Baseline's like that. But I went to Supermarket, and honestly, I only went to Supermarket, the dance club, I went on Friday, and I went because I did a show across the street. So I'm there. I'm in Kensington Market. Show was a banger. Like I'm coming out of these shows like a king, and everyone wants to hang out. Everyone wants to give me their Instagram. Go across the street, and they are just cold-blooded, man. What's the L? Not even. I didn't look even. Part of me always wants to somebody like, don't flatter yourself. Don't flatter yourself, but it's a waste of time. You're not getting anything out of that. Krishna Bakshi, Leia, Yahuvi, what's up, everyone? Brian, wow. Please, Morton, wow. YouTube, it is YouTube notification. Make sure everyone hits the like button. This is great. I think we're going to go for daily morning rips, motivational rips. I think it's very motivational of me to talk about going dancing because the culture needs dancing right now. We need that kind of activity, that loving kindness kind of activity. I don't know why it has to be such attitude, you know, but that is just another sign of Kali Yuga and the rot of the West. You know what I'm saying? In the East, you know, in the West, I said this before on the show, in the West, it's like we don't want to invite God to the good parties. The only time we want to talk about God in the West is when it's like some boring shit, like you got to sit and serious and stern. No, not according to loving kindness. The dancing, the art, this is the spiritual activity. This is the community activity. Leia says, I just mean like, is there anywhere else to meet people? Leia, honestly, I hate to say terms like this on the show because it's really could paint us as a bad community, but direct approach day game is honestly not, it's the only other option really, is just to be walking around during this day and just be like, hey, I love your jacket, you're cute, something. It's not easy though. It's really hard to do. It's honestly, it's like terrifying. It's terrifying. But I've done it and I pulled it off. Like this week I did meet a girl on the subway. So that was good. I said this last week too. I don't do online, nothing. Some people do online, some people do offline. If I'm in line, I'm going to holler at them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll time myself to go after someone hot, but that's too, I don't do that really. But I will, if someone hot is in front of me, then my brain is just, it's calculating. It's not even, I can't even help it. It's really like, sorry, if you want to cancel it. I don't know. So you got to cancel me. But listen, I can't, it'll overheat. It's overheating. I have to say something. I've literally felt it. Oh, and like, I think the one time it worked, I said something like, that's all you're getting? I said that, yeah. And then it's, generally speaking, this is what happens. You say, you're so scared, nervous, tense. It's like, calculating, say something, don't be a loser. It's a mental health issue, really. So then you have to say something. So I think I said one time to this girl, that's all you're getting? And then she was like, excuse me? Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, I don't want to waste food. What are you getting? Like, and then it just turned into a whole thing. I would say that was a good one. And even on that occasion, it was like an old people's grocery store. And there was like a 90-year-old man. And he did the same. Like, he's doing something. And then just, come on, son, close. Come on, son. Come on, baby. Get it done. Staring, dude. Staring. And then just kind of nodding. Like, after it's done, just be like, you just look over, you're walking away, and you did good today, son. Don't even know the guy. It's just like another guy that's there. Yeah, no, it's terrifying though. That time it was okay. Like I ended up getting her like contact and meet, like, whatever. This is years ago. But another time is way funnier to talk about when it doesn't work. Another time, and this is my own suffering because I was trying to do the same line over and over again. You see, you can't be fake. Like the first girl really didn't have much in her grocery thing. And I really was kind of like, you got to be more efficient in your life. Like, what are you doing? When do you plan 2 days a week? Do groceries, this, that. So it's like we got into a whole conversation and then it was a very chatty mood after. This other time it happened. And again, I can't control it. Hands are tied, people. Hands are tied. I can't, it'll overheat. But another time I'm looking and just, and it's thinking, and it just said, use previous line, execute previous line. And I said the same thing. I was like, but so fake, right? Because it's bullshit. It's like not really, like she had maybe less stuff, but not so much less stuff. I was like, that's all you're getting? And then this woman just goes, that is all the sustenance I need. And, that's her way of saying, hey, shut the fuck, like, don't, what? Why are you talking to me? But you'll be surprised. My brain, it was, and it just, I was at peace. No, it really is like a hands are tied situation. If you're single and the girl's hot, I'm sorry, listen. You gotta cancel me. But if you're single and you're in the community and there's a feeling in your heart and there's like a stopped moment, and especially if they look at you, you know how many girls get mad at you if you don't do it? Like sometimes you look at a girl, get a smile, and then you can even see them. Like if you don't go up and say hi, they're like, fuck, piece of shit. There's no real men left. Like they'll get into that. They'll go to that. So they're pissed too. But you just never know. That's what makes it so scary. You really got to, it's like you got to practice it. You got to like think about it. You got to have like a plan for the day and be like, okay, I'm going to go to this area. Let's see what we can do. Set up. Yeah, no, it is. Listen, you just do it when you're single. You do it for a month or two. You got to do it though. Like it's the only, okay, no sex then. You're never having sex. Or you got to go to the club, and the club, I'm telling you, the club is just, that's why they only have 2 club nights a week, because you got to go in and it's like going like boxing. It's like boxers. They, after a hard boxing match, it's like they're in bed for 3 weeks nightclub gay. It's so vicious, man. This girl like stared in my face and said, ew, 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 and pulled her friend away. Ew, 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 ew. Sorry. Nope. Sorry. Because I love my friend. That's it. And you're out of the game, and that's fine, but I wasn't even doing shit. So you're getting preemptive attacks over there. So daytime really is, you just got to grow a pair and do it. It's so hard though. Yeah, no. But it is very joyous too. It's very delightful. It's nice. And I feel like girls do it too. Girls just like move closer or they'll smile. I mean, if you're a girl and you smile at a guy in public, like he'll come talk to you, right? He's just going to come over and talk to you, right? You just would never do it. I feel like women would never do that. Like they just don't want to make that move, I guess. Even in the club, it's like while all these girls are giving me attitude, there's a bunch of young guys who are like, hey man, you're real cool. I bet all the girls love you, man. You got great moves, pal. Like I swear. Just like 25 to 30, like especially with like other Indian men, they'd be like, bro, good one, man. So this guy is going to have a girlfriend. Like they're rooting for you. But only guys, girls, they're like nothing in the club. But like I said, on the dance floor, no attitude. And again, the culture's broken. We must be in Kali Yuga because why is the dance floor such attitude? Then because the white man has no other place to dance. They don't know dancing in the community with God, with the community. They only dance with other sinners. But that makes them feel like they have the right to act like a sinner. If you teach the white, that's the problem with the white man. The white parents have taught them that dancing is a sinful thing. So then they're going into the dance environment thinking, oh, I got to watch out for these sinners. So that's how they're coming in, attitude right there. Now, in front of the bar, I feel like, you can just holler at people. And then if you're in the smoking department, if you're outside on smoking department, we're all friends. They're looking to be, hey, do you know, like outside I met nurses. I met a lot of nurses outside on that night. I love nurses party. Nurses are my favorite. By the way, Leia, I hate to say that. I know Leia's here, Janet's here. I'm not creeping on you, but nurses are the best. And I was recently telling my boy that like he was dating a girl who's like another like writer type, I guess, like a journalist. And I guess emotionally and nurturingly and spiritually, she just didn't care about him. Like she couldn't care about anything but her career. Like she just cared about her career. But something about the nurse, their nurturing capabilities are so powerful that I feel like they love you good. They love you good. And that's why they do go dancing a lot, I feel like. But same thing. It's like inside, get the hell away from me. Outside, hey, do you need a light? Hey, you're looking for a light, or do you need one? Here you go. That's the dichotomy. That's the difference. But what a great weekend, actually. I had a really fun time. And I had a really fun time telling y'all about it. And I hope it helps you. You know what I'm saying? Learn these lessons of loving kindness and make sure you're always... Don't be one of these guys that if someone gives you attitude, then you're like, oh yeah? What did I do wrong? I have a right to be here. Don't do it. This is why it's very important that I tell you, that I give you these updates. Because I know a lot of you guys are like, this is why Western society is collapsing. Because you... No. Don't do it. Listen, you could get into a fight on the dance floor, or you can go into the smoking section and we're all friends. Go to the smoking section, dum-dum. Don't smoke, but just go. I have a one-hitter. I have a weed one-hitter. More for social, more to give other people and share and all that. Don't fight on the dance floor. Have a chat in the smoking section. That's what I'm saying. And I think that should be the end of the show and a lesson for the show. Leia says, work hard, party hard. It's true. The nurses work hard, party hard, man. They are. And I was actually talking to some nurses this week, and I always have this conversation because I truly believe it in my heart. Don't say simping. Don't say simping. But it is I truly feel this in my heart. Doctors ain't half the shit that they say they are. Doctors and nurses need probably 3 or 4 times the respect that they're getting currently, just to equal, they deserve 3 to 4 times more respect. And the doctors don't, why are we giving the doctors any respect? I mean, fine, They are like autistic, right? Leah, tell me if I'm being crazy here. I was talking to so many girls at this on the weekend about this, and they were like, yeah, like they're uncaring, like weirdly autistic. Like they almost look at a human body as like, yes, you have broken the thing here, and implement it. And they have to they do a little thing, and then they go to the nurse, implement it. But really, the doctor should be replaced by a computer because the nurse is doing the things that matter: nurturing, caring, and actually administering the shit. What is the doctor doing? Just a diagnosis. And they've scammed us into thinking that they deserve all this respect. They ain't shit. Please Morton says, nurses, teachers, and chicks that sell stuff at music festivals are DTF. Church. Wow, you just put church at the end. Preaching church. Please Morton, you're in church right now. Yes, nurses, teachers, I gotta say social workers. This is the highest echelon of our society, and they're treated like the lowest. I truly believe that. But, we are stuck in a Western materialist paradigm, culture materialist paradigm, and it's part of the illusion of Kali Yuga. CB Applejack 59, $2 says, I'm awake, Amish. I rickrolled AOC and she blocked me. Oh, great. Applejack. Is this the kind of stuff we want to do? We're rickrolling AOC. We got to talk about that tomorrow. Listen, I got to go. You guys have been great, though. There's so much to talk about tomorrow, so don't worry. I have I have killer topics tomorrow. What do I have tomorrow? Let me see. I should just have an ongoing list of topics, and then whatever I miss. What did I miss today, though? No, down. Oh no, I think we did all of it. Gets rejected again. Weekend report. No, yeah, we just got to talk about like the future of the drip. Listen, the future of the drip is we're gonna go morning show, and it's gonna be. It's morning show, and then because it's hosted by me and this is who I am, it is seeing, definitely we're going to stay with scammers, and definitely we're going to do scam rehab and call-in episodes this week. However, it is me looking at the world through the light of loving kindness, unconditional loving kindness, which is the Buddha's highest teaching, which is a powerful teaching. This is how we should all be living. And I think the culture is going to need this right now. We need it. Like I said, it's Kali Yuga. We need extra loving kindness right now. So it's very important that y'all are watching, listening, hit the like button, share with your friends. Send me topics. I know Janet's been sending me some great topics. I don't know why I haven't done any yet, but if you go on Fade to Brown, my Instagram page, you can send me topics there. We should figure out a system of sending topics, honestly. And music, to be honest, because I love the background music. I think it's very important. And then tomorrow I'll have sound effects. It's going to be a lot of fun. Gorguruga says, great show, Amish. Informative plus hilarious. Hey, Habibi. Love you. Thanks for coming. Yahuvi is here. Leah's here. Kendon Reed is here. Bolt, CB Applejack. I'm mad. I'm so mad I missed. Yeah, I'm sorry, baby. Listen, I know you just got here. We could have just made so much more money, if we just came later. It would have been $2. But you know what? Don't worry about that. It's not about that. We're stabilizing the drip. We need to set this drip up so that the advertising is paying and merch is coming and other stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But these donations are appreciated. Thank you so much. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with fresh ribs, baby. Love you. You are loved. I just need to know when we are getting brown token guy token off the ground. No, it's token brown guy token. Raziel the Great. It's token brown guy token. I don't know. Who knows how to make tokens? Does anyone know how to make tokens? Are we getting in the token game? Are we getting in the crypto game? NFTs? Because token brown guy token would be sick. And if I'm the face of it, that would be sick. And then that could be our first t-shirt and sweatshirt. So what is that? Like, do we need to make a piece of artwork? So if anyone's down to make a piece of artwork, I'll figure out how to tokenize it. But also if someone could figure out how to tokenize it, that'd be great too. So let's talk a little more about tomorrow, the future of token brown guy token. I think Tuesday is probably the day for token brown guy token. So, so tomorrow, yeah, token brown guy token. Got it. That's great. Yep. Zilla spider senses go off right now. Amish trying to scheme on a crypto. CB advertising. Oh my God, Amish, the merch. I need it. Yeah, let's make that token brown guy token, and that'll be the first merch. But tomorrow, let's get back on the rip tomorrow morning, and I'll have fresh rips for you there then, and I'll be applying loving kindness to the most powerful topics in the community, and therefore providing the most powerful rips, really, that anyone is doing on all of YouTube. So thanks everyone for watching. You are loved. Peace. hold up. How do I? A custom live streaming service.